Hello? Yes, come in. It's good of you to see me. As I said on the phone, I'm preparing a confidential report on communism in America. Anything you can tell me about your own experiences would be very useful.
I left the party some time ago.
Yes, I know.
I wonder if you have any notion of what it's like to break with the party. For a year afterward, I sat up every night, all night, guarding my family, with a shotgun on my lap.
You worked in the communist underground.
I did.
Can you tell me about it?
I can do more than that. I can give you names.
Names?
Names of people like myself who worked for the Communist Party. Men who are now in positions of power and influence in the State Department and the Treasury. Is that the sort of thing you want? Or is it too dangerous?
Tell me everything.
I wish you didn't have to go back to work.
So do I. There's not much I can do about it.
What would happen if you didn't go?
People would get very angry.
Who would? What people?
All sorts of people. They would say 1 month's vacation is good enough for anybody. It's time for you to get back to work.
You'll miss your train if you don't hurry.
Okay.
Come on, Tony. Oh,
When's Daddy coming home?
Friday.
When's Friday?
Don't ask silly questions, Tony. You know when Friday is.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's only 4 days away.
That's right.
Alger, it's almost past. The next train's in an hour.
Coming.
Call to see if you'd be free for lunch on Wednesday.
Am I free?
Yes, you are.
Well, fine.
This is the schedule for the UNESCO conference. And here's the correspondence file.
Hmm?
I've marked all the important letters. It's mostly just routine.
Good. Fine. Thank you. Yes.
Is that Mr. Hiss?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Alger Hiss?
Yes, speaking.
Oh, Mr. Hiss, I've been trying to reach you all evening. My name is Sarnoff, Walter Sarnoff of the Baltimore Star.
Yes, Mr. Sarnoff.
I'm sure you'll be interested to know, sir.
That the House Committee on Un-American Activities held a press conference earlier today, at which it was stated that a Mr. Whittaker Chambers, one of the senior editors of Time magazine,
He's going to appear before the committee tomorrow, and he's going to name names, Mr. Hiss. He's going to name people who are or have been members of the Communist Party. And one of those names is yours, Mr. Hiss. Mr. Hiss,
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Sarnoff.
what are your comments about this? Do you want to make a denial?
I have no comments, Mr. Sarnoff.
yeah, but as president of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace,
I said no comments.
Well, aren't you afraid this accusation will damage you and the endowment both?
Mr. Sarnoff, you know as well as I do.
That a great many people have appeared before the House Committee on Un-American Activities.
There have been a great many accusations and a great many denials. If you feel this story is worth following up, then fine, you follow it up. But please don't waste my time with it. Good night, Mr. Sarnoff.
Alger Hiss is one of those men who seem to have led a charmed life. Harvard Law School, then one of Roosevelt's New Deal lawyers, presidential aide at Yalta, chief organizer of the UN conference at San Francisco, and now president of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
How long has he had the Carnegie job? You didn't mention that last time we met.
About 18 months. Appointed by John Foster Dulles himself.
Have you met him? Do you think he's a communist?
There are good reasons to suppose so. You should know that this is not the first time Mr. Chambers has made such an accusation. We spoke about it a while ago, but in 1939, he had a meeting with the Assistant Secretary of State, Adolph Burley. At that meeting, he stated that a number of government employees were communists. Among them, Alger Hiss.
That's 9 years ago. Didn't anyone do anything?
The Bureau kept him under surveillance from time to time. A tap was put on his phone, his mail was intercepted, a watch was kept on his movements. But so far, the results have been negative. I'm delighted that your committee is taking another look at the matter. I've brought along some documents that I think you and your colleagues might find useful.
How did you get hold of all this?
You remember the report I showed you? The one I was preparing for Archbishop Mooney on communism in America? Well, when I was writing it, I was given access to a number of FBI files. I've maintained a close association with the Bureau ever since.
That could be really important.
It could.
Crucially important.
The people of this country must be made aware that communism is a real threat to the very fabric of their lives. That's why it would be such a disaster if Truman tried to get rid of the Committee on Un-American Activities.
He can only do that if he gets reelected, and I can't see much danger of that happening.
Maybe not, but it's advisable to take every precaution.
Right.
The committee must be seen to be doing a good job. You and your fellow members must show the American public how vital your work is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll do what I can.
Thank you, Mr. Nixon.
You're welcome.
I'll stay in touch with my source at the FBI and let you know what turns up so that you'll know where to look and what to find.
Okay.
This is confidential, of course. No one must know.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Will you state your full name?
David Whittaker Chambers.
Now, how long have you been associated with Time magazine?
9 years.
Prior to that, what was your occupation?
I was a member of the Communist Party and a paid functionary of the party. But in 1937, I resolved to break with the party. At whatever risk to my life or other tragedy to myself or my family. For a year, I lived in hiding, sleeping through the day and watching through the night with gun or revolver within easy reach. That was what underground communism could do to one man in the peaceful United States in 1938. I had sound reasons for believing that the communists might try to kill me. For several years, I myself had served in the underground, chiefly in Washington, D.C. The head of the underground group at the time I knew it was Nathan Witt.
An attorney with the National Labor Relations Board, so on, so on. Lee Pressman was also a member, as was Alger Hiss, who with the State Department later organized the conferences at Dumbarton Oaks, San Francisco, and the United States side of the Yalta Conference.
Ignore it, Alger.
I don't think I can.
You've got to. That committee's a disgrace. It's a bad joke. Nobody takes it seriously.
You may not. A lot of people do.
Alger, the more you deny it, the more publicity there'll be, and the more you'll suffer. You and your family.
Well, Prossie's quite safe. She's still up in Vermont. Not even the press can reach her there.
Why not?
We don't have a phone.
You mean you haven't told her about all this?
Not yet, no.
Well, fine, good. No use in worrying her about it.
I've got to make a statement of some sort, Chuck. And if I deny it to the press, I think I should go down there and deny it to the committee. I mean, how dare they?
Alger, don't. Don't do it, I beg of you. The committee's out to poison the air for any new dealer. Ignore the bastards. This time next week it'll all be forgotten.
Will it?
Sullivan Cromwell, good morning. One moment.
Your brother's already here, Mr. Dulles.
Right, thanks.
Sullivan Cromwell.
Sorry I'm late.
The whole town's talking about Alger Hiss.
Alan, I've heard all this before. There's nothing to back it up.
You sure?
Sure as I can be.
Then why hasn't Hiss been over to Time magazine to see Whittaker Chambers? Why hasn't he been banging on doors and making all kinds of trouble?
Because I told him not to, that's why. Let the House Committee handle it, I said, and that's what he's going to do.
I don't like this, Foster. It smells bad to me.
Now, look, we all know what it was like in the 30s. All sorts of young people got mixed up in radical politics. It was fashionable. If Alger was a parlor pink before the war, then as far as I'm concerned, it's a thing of the past.
Well, let's hope so.
He's going to Washington tomorrow. Here's a telegram he sent the committee. As you see, he wants to make a formal denial of everything Chambers said.
Foster, bear with me for a moment. We have every reason to suppose that Dewey will be president by the end of the year. That means that you will be Secretary of State, and I'll get the CIA job. All we've got to do is to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. This business could cause us a hell of a lot of damage. One hell of a lot of damage.
Look down here. How many people can you see at a single glance? I'm willing to bet that each and every one of them has done something that he'd prefer to keep hidden away out of sight. Youthful indiscretion, maybe. Nothing too serious. Just something he'd rather not talk about. If Alger keeps his head, this whole thing could blow over in a matter of days.
Suppose Chambers is telling the truth.
From what I hear, he's been spreading stories like this about all sorts of people. Francis Sayre, Dean Acheson, many others. Why should it be true of Alger? I'll have to handle this carefully, very carefully. If I back away from Alger and he's innocent, people will say I'm disloyal. If Alger's guilty, I'll be accused of hiring a communist. Let's just wait and see how it develops.
Is this the man?
Yes.
When did you know him?
In the 30s, when I was working in the State Department.
Oh, Julian, dear, nobody's going to start asking questions about somebody you knew 10 years ago. You weren't even a member of the Communist Party.
I was a sympathizer. That's just as bad.
But so were hundreds of other people. Thousands.
It's more than that. I worked for them. I worked for Chambers. I thought I was doing the right thing. We all did. Hitler was getting more powerful every day. Russia seemed to be the only country that could stop him. It was the Soviets versus the fascists. I felt it was my duty to help the Soviets. I gave Chambers some documents, some State Department papers.
Were they important?
No. Oh, no. Just classified. I wasn't senior enough to get secret material.
Well, then you were just rather foolish. That's not a crime.
Of course it's a crime. I gave government papers to a foreign power. That's espionage.
Yes, but nobody knows.
Chambers knows.
He hasn't named you.
Not yet.
Well, what if he does?
I suppose... Well, I suppose they'll ask to see me.
Who will?
The committee.
Refuse to go.
I can't.
You must.
I can't. Nobody can. It's a committee of Congress. If you refuse to answer their questions, you're jailed for contempt.
You can always take the Fifth.
If I do that, they'll think I'm guilty, and I haven't got the guts to say so.
Well, then what will you do?
I am not, and I have never been, a member of the Communist Party. I do not, and I have never adhered to the tenets of the Communist Party. I am not, and I never have been, a member of any Communist Front organization. I have never followed the Communist Party line, directly or indirectly. To the best of my knowledge, none of my friends is a communist. I am here at my own request to deny unqualifiedly various statements about me which have been made before this committee by one Whittaker Chambers. I appreciate the committee's having promptly granted me that request. I have already stated that I do not know Mr. Chambers. So far as I know, I have never laid eyes on him, and I should like the opportunity to do so.
Mrs. Hiss? Mrs. Hiss? Anyone home?
You say you have never seen Mr. Chambers.
The name means absolutely nothing to me, Mr. Stripling.
Who is this man Chambers?
I have no idea.
There's his picture. Do you know who he is?
I don't think so. Wait a minute. I do remember someone we knew once. An awful man. I think his name was Crosley or something.
Mr. Hiss, have you ever known an individual who resembles that picture?
I would much rather see the individual. I have looked at all the pictures I could find, and I think it was yesterday's papers which carried the pictures of Mr. Chambers. He's not particularly unusual looking. He looks like a lot of people. I might even mistake him for the chairman of this committee. I hope you are wrong in that. I didn't mean to be facetious. But very seriously, I would not like to take an oath that I have never seen that man. I would like to see him, and then perhaps I might be able to tell whether I had ever seen him. Is he here today?
Not to my knowledge.
I hoped he would be.
You do realize, don't you, Mr. Hiss, that Mr. Chambers
I'll
testified
look at Chambers in New York and see what name he was known as a communist.
to perjury charges if he's shown to be lying?
Yes, Mr. Mundt, I'm aware of that. I also know that I am testifying to the direct contrary under those same laws.
Mr. Hiss, you were the first among those whose names were mentioned by various witnesses to communicate with us, asking for an opportunity to deny the charges. The Chair wishes to express the appreciation of this committee for your very cooperative attitude and for your forthright statements.
And I want to congratulate the witness that he didn't refuse to answer the questions on the ground that it might incriminate him. And he didn't bring a lawyer here to tell him what to say.
Well, it's our own fault. We should have checked Chambers' story before we put him on the stand.
Do you think he lied?
What else? He made fools of us all.
Oh, Mr. Nixon.
What is it, Ben?
I talked to Chambers. He said he used the name Carl when he worked for the party underground.
Carl.
That's what he said.
Knew it. That son of a bitch Hiss has been running rings around us. I never knew a man called Whitaker Chambers. He denies knowing the man's name, but he does not deny knowing the man. Real Harvard Law School trick.
What are you going to do?
Nail him, Ben. That's what I'm going to do.
I don't think that went too badly.
One word. A few words.
Thank you very much.
That's it. A few words, Mr. Hiss, please. Come on, just a few words. Henry will just a couple of words. Give us a break.
Well, if you're a member of the Communist Party, you could send me an application.
So the question is, what do we do now?
I think we ought to wash our hands of the whole mess.
We can't do that.
We've got to. It's the only way we can get the committee off the hook.
If we back out now, we'll be handing Truman just the excuse he needs to get rid of us.
What else can we do?
Find out whether Chambers and Hiss ever knew each other. That'll show which one of them is lying.
That's a job for the Department of Justice.
You're right.
If we hand this case over to the Justice Department, we'll be admitting our own incompetence. And that's going to kill the committee. And I mean kill it. Now and forever. Is that what you want? Is it?
Okay. So what do you suggest?
Question Chambers again.
That might do even more damage.
We don't have much choice.
Well, I'm against it.
Dick, would you be prepared to head a subcommittee for that purpose?
To question Chambers? Yes, I would.
It'd have to be a secret session. No press, no spectators.
It can't be here.
Make it New York.
Okay.
And if we set it up, you'd be prepared to handle it.
Yes, I would.
When?
I can be in New York tomorrow.
Well, sooner you than me, Dick. If things go wrong, they'll eat you alive.
Whitaker, it's almost about just a few more questions. Questions, and still more questions. That's the way it goes. Don't worry about it.
Would you be willing to submit to a lie detector on this testimony?
Yes, if it's necessary.
You have that much confidence?
I'm telling the truth.
I mean, come on, Strip. What more do you want?
Yeah, well, he seemed more sure of himself. I grant you that.
I believe him. I believe him. How about you, Ben?
Well, he was consistent.
He was consistent. He was confident. He was credible.
I just got the feeling there's something wrong somewhere.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, let's go through it again.
We have to.
I'll keep it simple. First, Chambers knows one hell of a lot about Hiss and his wife. He knows where they lived. He knows the nicknames they have for each other. She calls him Hilly, and he calls her Dilly or Pross. Now, how can a stranger possibly know that? Then there's this bird watching. He remembers Hiss getting all excited about some kind of rare bird, a prothonotary warbler. Now, that's an amazing thing to remember. You've got to admit that.
Okay, I admit it.
Then there's all this stuff about the old Ford, and this could be the most important thing of all. I mean, Chambers was so precise, so goddamn exact. It was very dilapidated. Quote, I remember very clearly that it had hand windshield wipers. I remember that because I drove it one rainy day and had to work those windshield wipers by hand. Then he says Hiss bought a new Plymouth in 1936. Question, that was you, Ben. What did he do with the old car? Answer, the Communist Party had in Washington a service station. That is, the man in charge or owner of this station was a communist. Or it may have been a car lot. Question, but the owner was a communist? Answer, the owner was a communist. I never knew who this was or where this was. Then a little bit later he says, Hiss insisted that he wanted the car, that's the old Ford, he wanted the car turned over to the open party, whatever that means, so it could be of use to some poor organizer in the West or somewhere. I should think that the records of that transfer would be traceable. You can't have more detail than that. He's given us everything.
Maybe too much.
What do you mean?
When people tell me that something is traceable, I start to get a bit uneasy. I start to ask myself, how the hell does he know that?
Okay, fine. You have doubts. We all have doubts. But one thing you can't deny, Chambers has given us a heck of a lot to work on. You can't deny him that, Strip.
I'm not denying him anything, but nothing he's told us proves that Hiss is lying. I mean, Chambers could have made the whole thing up. And even if you prove they knew each other, it still doesn't prove that Hiss is a communist.
All we're doing at the moment is trying to find out whether Chambers and Hiss ever knew each other, okay? First things first, Strip.
Yeah, okay. Let's sleep on it.
What's on your mind? What is it?
I don't think Chambers has told us the whole story. He's holding something back. He's trying to protect somebody.
Okay. I'll talk to him. I'll drive out and talk to him. We'll check it out, Strip. Everything. Check and double check. Okay?
Okay.
Mrs. Chambers.
Mr. Nixon, we weren't quite sure what time you'd be arriving.
I thought it would take longer. Sorry if I'm too early.
No, of course not.
Nice place you have here.
Thank you. Can I get you some coffee?
Maybe later.
Well, if you'd like to make yourself comfortable, I'll go out and tell my husband that you're here.
That's okay. I'll go. I could use the air.
Fine. Just this way. You'll find him over there, Mr. Nixon.
Fine.
If you need to stay overnight, you'll be more than welcome.
It's very kind, Mrs. Chambers, but I must be getting back this evening.
I have seen newspaper accounts, Mr. Nixon, that you spent the weekend, whether correct or not, I do not know, at Mr. Chambers' farm.
That is quite incorrect.
It is incorrect.
Yes, sir. I can say that I have never spent the night with Mr. Chambers.
May I say one thing for the record?
Certainly.
I have written a name on this pad in front of me of a person I knew in 1934 who not only stayed in my house but sublet my apartment. The man's name is George Crossley. I was working with the Senate Munitions Committee at the time and helped him with some research. He was doing a series of articles on the munitions industry, to the best of my recollection, freelancing, and hoping to sell them to one of the magazines. He was pretty obviously not successful in financial terms, but as far as I know, not actually hard up.
Was he married?
Yes, sir.
Any children?
One little baby, as I remember it. He said he wanted to spend the whole summer in Washington and was thinking of bringing his family down. My wife and I just moved to a house on P Street, and our old apartment was empty. So I said to him, you can have my apartment. It wasn't a very expensive apartment, and I think I let him have it at exact cost. My recollection is that he spent several nights in my house because his furniture van was delayed.
His wife and he and little baby spent several nights in the house with you.
This man, Crossley, yes.
Can you describe his wife?
Yes. She was a strikingly dark person.
How tall was this man, approximately?
Shorter than me.
Heavy?
Not noticeably.
How about his teeth?
He had very bad teeth. This is something I want to see Chambers particularly about. This man had very bad teeth. Did not take care of his teeth.
What kind of automobile did this fellow have?
No kind of automobile. I sold him an automobile. I had an old Ford that I threw in with the apartment and had been trying to trade it in, trying to get rid of it. I had an old Ford we had kept for sentimental reasons. We bought it just before we were married in 1929.
What color?
Dark blue. Well, it wasn't very fancy, but it had a sassy little trunk on the back.
You sold that car?
I threw it in. He needed a way to get around, and I said, fine, I want to get rid of it. I have another car. We kept this one for sentimental reasons, not worth a damn. I let him have it along with the rent.
Did those model Fords have windshield wipers?
No, you had to operate it yourself.
Hand operated.
I think that is the best that I can recall.
I'm sure we'll hear from him in a couple of weeks, Mr. Zell.
Mr. Rosenwald.
Yeah.
Mr. Hiss is on the phone.
I'll take it in my office. Thanks for dropping by.
Harold, listen. I'm in a bit of a jam. I can't get hold of Bill Marbury, and I need to find some papers fast. Can you help?
Yeah, I'll try.
I want to check the exact date we moved to P Street. It will mean going through public records down here in Washington. Can you get down here this afternoon?
Sure, no problem.
Good, good. Thanks, Harold. Bye-bye.
Now, just you listen to this. This firm is not going to get involved in the Alger Hiss case. Is that understood?
This has nothing to do with the firm. It's a personal matter.
Like hell it is.
Mr. Hiss and I were at law school together. We've been friends ever since. He's appearing before the Un-American Activities Committee, and he needs some documents. That's all.
What do you mean, that's all? They're saying he's a communist. Don't you realize that? This firm is not going to get involved in the defense of anyone accused of being a communist, especially in the present state of public opinion. We could lose all our clients. So either you help Alger Hiss or you continue working for Osius, Pepper, and Siegel. You cannot do both.
What were the nicknames you and your wife had?
My wife I called Prossy.
What did she call you?
Well, there was a time when she called me quite frequently Hill, H-I-L-L.
What other name?
Hilly, with a Y.
What other name did you call her?
She called me Hill or Hilly. I called her Pross or Prossy, almost exclusively. I don't think any other nickname.
Did you ever call her Dilly?
No, never.
Melissa, tell Mr. Osius that Mr. Rosenwald went to Washington.
Okay, Mr. Rosenwald.
What hobby, if any, do you have, Mr. Hiss?
Tennis and amateur ornithology.
Is your wife interested in ornithology?
I also like to swim and also like to sail. My wife is interested in ornithology through my interest. I think anybody who knows me would know that.
Have you ever seen a prothonotary warbler?
I did, right here on the Potomac. Do you know that place?
Have you ever seen one?
Did you see it in that place?
I saw one in Arlington.
They come back to those swamps to nest. A beautiful yellow head. It's a gorgeous bird. The charges made against me are by a self-confessed liar, spy, and traitor. The important issue is the question of whether I was a communist. It seems to me we should be getting to the question of my record and what was thought of me by those who worked closely and intimately with me.
The issue is whether Mr. Hiss or Mr. Chambers has committed perjury, as well as whether Mr. Hiss is a communist.
The issue is not whether this man knew me and I don't remember it. The issue is whether I am or was a member of the Communist Party, which he has said and I have denied.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and I'll tell you exactly what I told Mr. Chambers. Either you or Mr. Chambers is lying.
That is certainly true.
And whichever one of you is lying is the greatest actor America has ever produced.
I had no idea it was that difficult for you, Harold.
Don't worry about it.
Well, of course I worry about it.
No, Osius, Pepper, and Siegel was not the greatest law firm in the world. I can do better elsewhere.
In that case, maybe you should come work for me.
For you?
Why not? I'm going to need a helping hand with this Chambers business. I'll give you half of what I get from the Carnegie Endowment.
I can't take your money, Alger.
Well, I've got to hire someone. Might as well be you.
Hello.
Dick Nixon.
Holy cow. What's the time? 2 o'clock.
Look, I think we should move fast.
It's 2 o'clock, for God's sake.
Yes, I know, but we've got to move fast before Hiss can dream up any more excuses.
I've been talking to John McDowell. He's going to try to set up a meeting in New York tomorrow afternoon.
Mr. Hiss's office, can I help you?
May I speak to him, please?
Who's calling?
Congressman McDowell.
One moment, sir.
Yes, Mr. McDowell.
Mr. Hiss, could you come over to the Commodore Hotel this afternoon, please? What for? I really can't say on the phone. Mr. Nixon and one other would like to talk to you.
McDowell says Nixon wants to talk to me. Nixon and one other. Doesn't take a genius to work out who the other one is.
You mean Chambers?
Who else?
I would like the record to show I read in the papers bits of my testimony that could only have come from the committee. They did not come from me. I would like the record to show that is why I asked if I could bring Mr. Dollard, a personal friend, to be with me at this particular time. Obviously, there was a leak. It was a regrettable thing, and I join you in feeling rather rotten about the whole thing.
Will you come in now, please? Sit over here, Mr. Chambers. Mr. Chambers, will you please stand? And will you please stand, Mr. Hiss? Mr. Hiss, the man standing here is Mr. Whittaker Chambers. I ask you now whether you have ever known that man before.
May I ask him to speak? Will you ask him to say something?
My name is Whittaker Chambers.
Would you mind opening your mouth wider?
My name is Whittaker Chambers.
I said, would you open your mouth? You know what I am referring to, Mr. Nixon. Would you mind going on talking?
I'm a senior editor of Time magazine.
Would you ask him to keep talking?
Read something, Mr. Chambers. I will let you read from...
I think he is George Crosley, but I would like to hear him talk a little longer. Are you George Crosley?
Not to my knowledge. You are Alger Hiss, I believe.
I certainly am.
That was my recollection. Since
Just one moment. Since some repartee goes on between these two people, I think Mr. Chambers should be sworn.
That is a good idea.
You do solemnly swear, sir, that the testimony you shall give this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Hiss, may I say something? I suggested that he be sworn, and when I say something like that, I want no interruptions from you.
Mr. Nixon, there's no occasion for you to use that tone when speaking to me. And I hope the record will show what I just said.
The record will show everything that has been said here today.
You gonna read?
Harry S. Truman had been peddling the labor secretaryship left vacant by Louis B. Schwellenbach's death in the hope of gaining the maximum political...
May I interrupt?
Yes?
The voice sounds a little less resonant than the voice I recall of the man who I knew as George Crosley. The teeth look to me as though either they have been improved upon or there has been considerable dental work done since I knew George Crosley, which was some years ago. I think I'm not prepared, without further checking, to take an absolute oath that he must be George Crosley.
May I ask Mr. Chambers a question?
I would like to ask Mr. Chambers,
I will
if
ask
I may...
the questions at this time. Mr. Chambers, have you had any dental work since 1935 of a substantial nature?
Yes, I have.
What type of dental work?
I had some extractions and a plate.
Did you ever go under the name of George Crosley?
Not to my knowledge.
Did you ever sublet an apartment on 29th Street from me?
No, I did not.
You did not?
No.
Did you ever spend time with your wife and child in an apartment on 29th Street in Washington when I was not there? Because I and my family were living on P Street.
I most certainly did.
You did or did not?
I did.
Would you tell me how you can reconcile your negative answers with this affirmative answer?
Very easily, Alger. I was a communist and you were a communist.
Will you be responsive and continue the answer?
Well, I do not think it's needed.
That is your answer?
I'll help you with the answer, Mr. Hiss. The question, Mr. Chambers, is, as I understand it, that Mr. Hiss cannot understand how you would deny that you were George Crosley and yet admit that you had spent time in his apartment. Now, can you explain these circumstances?
As I have testified before, I came to Washington as a communist functionary. I was a functionary of the American Communist Party. I was connected with a group, an underground group, of which Mr. Hiss was a member. Mr. Hiss and I became friends. To the best of my knowledge, Mr. Hiss himself suggested that I go there, and I gratefully accepted.
Mr. Chairman, just one moment. How long did you stay there?
To the best of my recollection, it was about 3 weeks. May have been a little longer. I brought no furniture, I might add.
Mr. Chairman, I don't need to ask Mr. Whittaker Chambers any more questions. I am now perfectly prepared to identify this man as George Crossley.
Mr. Chambers, is this the man, Alger Hiss, who was also a member of the Communist Party, at whose home you stayed?
According to your testimony.
You make the identification positive?
Positive identification.
May I say at this point, for the record, that I would like to invite Mr. Chambers to make those same statements out of the presence of this committee without there being privilege for a suit for libel. I challenge you to do it, and you better do it damn quickly. I am not going to touch him. You are touching me.
Please, sit down, Mr. Hiss.
I will sit down when the chairman asks me to, Mr. Russell.
Want
when the chairman,
no
I
disturbance.
don't...
Sit down, please.
You know who started this. Mr. Chairman, would you be good enough to ask Mr. Chambers, for the record, his response to the challenge I just made to him?
It has nothing to do with the pertinency of the matter that the committee is investigating, and I don't feel that I should.
I thought this committee was interested in ascertaining the truth.
Do you have anything to say for the record?
I don't think so.
I shouldn't think so. I'm not surprised.
If you want to question me, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
I suggest we adjourn.
Any more questions to ask of Mr. Hiss?
I have nothing.
Am I dismissed? Is this proceeding over?
That is all. Thank you very much.
I don't reciprocate.
Italicize that in the record.
I wish you would.
Mr. Nixon, good of you to come.
My great pleasure, sir.
I gather there's been some new development.
Well, yes.
All right, that'll do, I think. Thank you.
I think you ought to see this.
What is it?
You remember all that talk about an old Ford car? Mr. Hiss says that he gave the car to Mr. Chambers. Mr. Chambers maintains that the car was, in fact, handed over to the Communist Party. Well, our investigators scrutinized the Motor Vehicle Bureau records. They found this. It's a transfer of ownership certificate. As you see, it shows that the Ford was transferred to the Cherner Motor Company on July 25th, 1936. It's signed by Alger Hiss. On the same day, the Cherner Motor Company sold that car to a man called William Rosen for $25. Rosen is known to be a member of the Communist Party.
Well, that's certainly bad news for Alger Hiss.
It doesn't prove that he's a communist, of course, but I think it shows pretty conclusively that he's been trying to conceal something.
Yes, Mr. Nixon, I agree. It certainly looks as though he's lied to the committee in this case. When will he make this public?
Well, both men will be appearing before the committee tomorrow, so that should be a good opportunity. I hope you'll be watching, sir. We'll be on television, live from Washington for the very first time.
What did Mr. Crosley do with this old Ford car? Do you know?
I frankly do not recall. It is possible he used it. I would not be sure of the details. My impression and recollection was that I got rid of it by giving it to him. But if the records show that it bounced back to me from him, then that would not surprise me either.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hiss, you sold that car a year later, did you not?
Not to my recollection. I have no definite recollection of it.
You do not recall selling the car?
I have no definite recollection. I have attempted to get the records with respect to the Ford automobile I own. I was informed that the records are no longer in their normal official location, but are in the custody of the committee.
That is absolutely untrue.
Mr. Hiss, your recollection is still that you gave the car to Crosley as part of the apartment deal. Is that correct?
I gave Crosley, according to my best recollection.
Well, now, I don't want to interrupt you on that to the best of my recollection. But you can testify yes or no as to whether you gave Crosley a car. How many cars have you given away in your life, Mr. Hiss?
Now, Mr. Chairman, I have here a certificate of title, a photostatic copy of a certificate of title. District of Columbia, Director of Vehicles and Traffic. It shows that on July 23rd, 1936, Alger Hiss assigned the title of this car to the Cherner Motor Company. Now, Mr. Hiss, is this your signature which appears on the reverse side of this assignment of title?
Mr. Stripling, it certainly looks like my signature to me. Do you have the original documents?
No, I do not. Can't you tell from a photostat what this signature is, whether it is your signature or not?
It looks like my signature.
Well, if that were the original, would it look any more like your signature?
It's quite possible that someone may have come into my office and may have said to me, you disposed of a car some time ago. There is a technical, legal step to be taken. Would you simply sign a statement?
Did Mr. Crosley come in and ask you to do that?
I have no recollection of seeing Mr. Crosley after 1935.
He is the man you gave the car to.
That is correct, but he may have given the car to somebody else.
Mr. Hiss, is this a fair summary, then, of your position up to now? That as of today, you've not found anybody other than your wife who ever knew of this man over here under the name of George Crosley?
I received a telephone call, rather, one of my counsel did, from someone, a woman, who said she had known George Crosley during this time, but that she was fearful of getting her employer in the dust or something by publicity. So far, the answer to your question is, I have not yet been able to find any witness other than my wife who remembers him as George Crosley. And one personal word. My action in being kind to Crosley years ago was one of humaneness, with results which surely some members of this committee have experienced. You do a favor for a man, he comes back for another. He gets a third favor from you. When you finally realize he is an inveterate repeater, you get rid of it. If your loss is only a loss of time and money, you are lucky. You may find yourself calumniated in a degree depending on whether the man is unbalanced or worse.
Mr. Chairman, may I interrupt and tell Mr. Hiss? Mr. Chambers has been asked whether he was ever treated for any mental illness or been in a mental institution, and he replied in the negative. And he also added that he was not an alcoholic. So you can strike that. That was asked already.
Is that the extent of the committee's inquiry into that subject?
The committee's inquiry into that was because a typical communist smear is when a man gets up to testify, and particularly a former communist, is to say he's insane or an alcoholic or something else is wrong with him.
Mr. Hiss, excuse me. Do you have any evidence at this time that you would like to present that Mr. Chambers has been in a mental institution? You made the charge that he has been.
I made no such charge.
You sure as hell implied it.
Now, Mr. Chambers, you have heard the charge made here that you have been treated for mental illness. Do you have any comment on that?
Yes, I've never been treated for mental illness, period.
Never been treated in a mental institution?
Never.
Mr. Chambers, can you search your memory now to see what motive you can have for accusing Mr. Hiss of being a communist at this present time?
What motive I can have?
Yes, I mean to you, is there any grudge that you have against Mr. Hiss over anything that he might have done to you?
The story has spread that in testifying against Mr. Hiss, I am working out some old grudge for motives of revenge or hatred. I do not hate Mr. Hiss. We were close friends, but we are caught in a tragedy of history. Mr. Hiss represents the concealed enemy against which we are all fighting. And I am fighting. I testified against him with remorse and pity. But in a moment of historic jeopardy in which this nation now stands, so help me God, I could not do otherwise.
We all get a little nervous before a program. It's nothing to worry about.
I'm not nervous.
Good. That's fine.
And go.
It's 9 o'clock. And from Washington, D.C., Mutual Broadcasting brings you Meet the Press. Your moderator is James B. Reston of the New York Times.
Good evening. Our guest tonight is a man whose name has been on the front page of every newspaper in the United States of America. A senior editor of Time magazine, and now a central figure in one of the fiercest political controversies for many years, Mr. Whittaker Chambers.
Good evening.
I'll ask Edward Folliard of the Washington Post to put the first question.
Mr. Chambers, are you willing to say now that Alger Hiss is or ever was a communist?
Alger Hiss was a communist, and may be now.
Mr. Chambers, communists are known to be liars. As an ex-communist, what reason can you give the American public for believing your story?
I can simply try to produce facts which will, on investigation, stand up.
And now a question from Tom Reynolds of the Chicago Sun-Times.
Are you prepared at this time to say that Alger Hiss was anything more than, in your opinion, a communist? Did he do anything wrong? Did he commit any overt act? Has he been disloyal to his country?
I am only prepared at this time to say that he was a communist.
Seems to me then, sir, if I may say so, in some respects, this may be a tempest in a teapot. You say he was a communist, yet you will not accuse him of any act that's disloyal to the United States.
I'm not prepared legally to make that charge at this time. My whole interest in this business is to show that Alger Hiss was a communist.
Does that mean you are prepared to go to court and answer a suit for slander or libel?
I do not think that Alger Hiss will sue me for slander or libel.
The man from Missouri awoke from a refreshing sleep to learn that he'd been returned to the White House by a mandate of the people. Victory was sweet for Harry.
And Mr. Keltenborn was saying, while the president is
a million votes ahead in the popular vote. We have yet to hear from
You heard the news?
Heard it. I'm watching it.
I mean about Alger Hiss.
What about him?
He's suing Chambers for libel. He wants $50,000 in damages.
What took him so long?
I welcome Alger Hiss's daring suit. I do not minimize the ferocity or the ingenuity of the forces working through him. But I do not believe that ultimately Alger Hiss or anybody else can use the means of justice to defeat the ends of justice.
Mr. Chambers, Mr. Chambers.
Mr. Roth, this is Mr. McLean.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? As I explained on the telephone, the firm of Debevoise, Plimpton, and McLean is now helping Mr. Hiss in this matter. That's why I think Mr. McLean should hear what you have to say.
Yes, of course. I gather you actually knew Whittaker Chambers when he was calling himself George Crosley.
That's right. And when I heard Mr. Hiss on television saying he was having trouble finding people to corroborate his story, I felt that I should come forward and tell you what I know.
Well, I certainly appreciate that, Mr. Roth. Thank you. When exactly did you have this encounter with Mr. Chambers?
1927. He submitted some poems to me. I was running a literary magazine at the time. He submitted these poems under the pseudonym of George Crosley.
He was a man of medium height, careless in dress, with obviously bad teeth. It's all here, Alger. Mr. Roth is 100% certain. Wait a minute, listen to this. I remember clearly that Mr. Chambers submitted to me the poems referred to above for publication under the pseudonym George Crosley. My memory is fortified by reason of the fact that I held the poems for a long period of time, and by the further fact that one of the poems was of particular interest to me. It's all here in black and white. Take a look.
That's marvelous, Harold. This is exactly what we wanted. Well done. Where did you find him?
I didn't. He found me. He called up and said he wanted to help.
That will be Ed McLean. Come on in. Harold's already here.
I brought you some books to read, Alger. All of them published by our friend Mr. Roth. My Life and Loves by Frank Harris. Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure. The Perfume Garden, which you'll be interested to know illustrates 237 possible positions for a man and woman to make love. He's been to jail, Alger. He's been to jail 3 times on obscenity charges. Do you really want a guy like that on your side?
As you can imagine, it puts us all in a very difficult position.
I don't see why.
Well, it might be different if you had something in writing from Crosley, and then these books you published, Mr. Roth. We had no idea what kind of books they were.
These books I published, Mr. Rosenwald, are works of art. Books by Henry Miller, James Joyce, D.H. Lawrence. For years now, I've been fighting a lone battle against the outdated laws of this country. I have nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, I'm proud of my record as a publisher. I must say I hadn't expected you and Mr. Hiss to behave in this Philistine manner.
I'm sorry, Mr. Roth.
So presumably you won't be needing me to testify in support of your client.
No.
I see.
Under the circumstances.
You're making a big mistake, Mr. Rosenwald. God preserve the human race from lawyers.
I must explain that all federal courts have a legal procedure known as pretrial examination, which means that either party has a right to submit the other and his witnesses for an examination before trial. This procedure takes the form of a cross-examination under oath.
My client is aware of this procedure, Mr. Marbury.
Good. And let us begin.
I was born in Philadelphia, April the 1st, 1901. My father, J. Chambers, was a staff artist for the New York World. My parents' marriage was violent and unhappy. When I was small, my father left home. To protect herself, my mother kept an axe in the closet. A woman with an axe, she used to say, is a match for any man. When I was young, my closest relationship was with my brother, Richard. His suicide was the turning point in my life. I was 26, he was 23. Not until he was dead did I realize how much I loved him. Death had never really touched me before. In 1925, I joined the Communist Party. I'd come to believe that the world we lived in was dying, and that only surgery could save the wreckage of mankind. I believed the Communist Party was history's surgeon. I'd been working in the underground for the Communist Party for 2 years before I met Mr. and Mrs. Hiss. It was only after that, here in Baltimore, that we became personal friends. Our friendship was almost entirely one of character rather than of the mind. Alger was not a highly mental man. In fact, he was somewhat on the stuffy side. Ideas for their own sake did not interest him at all. His mind had come to rest in the doctrines of Marx and Lenin. My wife and I were very fond of the Hisses. We felt a tenderness toward them, spontaneous and unquestioning. The sort of tenderness that might be shared by members of an unusually happy family. Nothing in their manner ever led us to suppose that Alger and Priscilla didn't feel the same about us.
Have you any proof of this relationship, Mr. Chambers?
No, sir, nothing that you would call proof.
You mean you have nothing to show for all those years of alleged friendship with Mr. Hiss? Not even a single scratch of a pen?
No, sir, I haven't.
Mr. Nixon, just one question, lay off. Mr. Nixon, it's rumored that the Justice Department is about to drop its investigation of his Chambers case. What are your feelings about that?
I never listen to rumors.
Yeah, but isn't it true that there's not enough evidence for them to proceed?
Listen, boys, I've spent more than enough time on the Hiss case. It's been almost 2 years since Pat and I have had a vacation, and next week we're off on a Caribbean cruise. As a matter of fact, I have the tickets right here.
Now, Mrs. Chambers, let's consider the period of time immediately after your husband left the Communist Party. You said you were living in poverty. Is that correct?
Yes.
Poverty? Mrs. Chambers, surely that's an exaggeration. Do you really mean poverty?
Yes, sir, I do. I remember at one point I did not have, well, we had taken most of everything down to the pawn shop that we had. There was no gasoline for the car. The only plates we had were the ones we bought at the dime store.
At least you didn't eat off the floor, did you? Are you all right? Would you like a glass of water?
Please, let's continue.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I ask you to bring me any books or letters or papers of any kind from Priscilla Hiss. Have you brought anything?
She gave me these 2 child care books.
There's no inscription. How do I know who gave you these? What good are these? Perhaps we'd better break for lunch.
Mr. Marbury, in response to your request for papers from Mr. Hiss, I made a search, and I found certain papers which I think you ought to look at. I was particularly anxious, both for reasons of friendship and because Alger Hiss is one of the most brilliant men in the country. Not to hurt him more than is necessary. Due to the nature of this case, my counsel has persuaded me that I have no choice but to enter these papers as evidence. They've been hidden, you see. They've been hidden for 10 years. I left them in New York with my wife's nephew, Nathan Levine.
When did you retrieve these documents, Mr. Chambers?
Last Sunday.
His nephew found him in a bathroom. He said he'd forgotten all about them.
How did he get hold of these in the first place?
He said he met a Russian named Colonel Bykov. This was sometime in 1937. And he asked Chambers to arrange a meeting with you. He said the three of you met at a restaurant called the Port Arthur Restaurant in Chinatown. Bykov asked you to get some State Department documents, and you agreed.
He said I agreed?
Yeah, he did. He said you developed a method for doing this, modus operandi. You would bring the documents home in your briefcase, which your wife would then retype. He said you may have retyped some of them yourself. He wasn't sure about that. And occasionally, when you'd see certain documents that you couldn't get out of the State Department, you'd give him handwritten notes. And that's what he said.
Did you ask him any questions?
No.
Nothing at all?
To tell you the truth, Alger, we were all too stunned to think clearly, much less ask questions. Do you think they're genuine?
Genuine?
Do you think they're copies of genuine State Department documents?
I don't know. I suppose it's possible. I mean, sure, this is the sort of material that came through my office. I just can't imagine how Chambers got hold of it. Who else has seen this?
Well, Chambers' lawyers, of course.
Not Stripling or Nixon or anyone on the House committee.
Oh, God, just think what they do with stuff like that. What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. I think perhaps we should call the Attorney General.
Good luck. I love you.
Good morning. DeMarco, Rubin, and Menzel.
May I speak to Mr. DeMarco, please? My name is Wadley, Julian Wadley.
Yes, Mr. Wadley.
Mr. DeMarco, I wrote to you about needing some legal advice, and I was wondering if I might come and meet with you.
Oh, yes, Mr. Wadley. I think you should come and see me. The sooner the better.
I just can't bear the thought of it. I can't bear the thought of standing up in court in front of all those people. It terrifies me.
It may not come to that.
You should have taken Bill's advice. You should never have tried to sue.
I didn't exactly advise... I can't ignore it, Crossy. Everyone knows that I have threatened to sue Chambers. I can't change my mind now, even if I wanted to, which I don't. It'd be very damaging if you did. Besides, I believe in the law. I believe that if a man is wronged, the law will show this and make amends. My whole life, my whole professional life is based on this belief. Why should I lose confidence in it now?
I thought you advised Alger not to sue.
I told him to be cautious. Libel can be a squalid business. There's always a lot of poking around in other people's garbage. And with a case like this, proving a negative, it's hellishly difficult.
What do you mean, proving a negative?
In order to satisfy a jury, we have to prove that Alger was never a member of the Communist Party. It's proving a negative. It's a tricky business. Well, everything is tricky. Everything is difficult. That shouldn't stop us from taking Chambers to court. He is telling lie after lie. Why the hell should he get away with it? You can't disprove the lies as fast as Chambers can make them up. And what makes it worse, what makes it so goddamn insulting, is that he's such a bad liar. He's not even consistent.
What do you mean?
Well, first, he said he left the Communist Party in 1937. Now, because the papers are dated 1938, now he is saying he left the party in 1938.
How dare he do that?
Well, to be fair, there's been some confusion. He's mentioned both dates from time to time.
Well, yes, okay, maybe he has, but the inconsistency is there, and you can't deny it.
I'm not trying to.
So what happens now? Where do we go from here?
Well, I've been in touch with the criminal division of the Justice Department, and they'll need about a couple of weeks to investigate the whole thing as thoroughly as possible. That's good for us, because we can use that time to find whatever typewriter you had in the 30s, plus any letters that might have been typed on that machine. Do you remember what sort of typewriter you had?
I think it was an Underwood, something like that. Was it an Underwood?
I don't remember.
Well, you've got to find it, and some letters.
What letters?
Anything, it doesn't matter. Just so we can prove that the documents that Chambers produced were not typed by either you or Alger.
Well, that's going to be difficult. I have no idea what happened to the typewriter.
I think we sold it.
Yes, that's right. I think we did.
Yes, we sold it to one of those second-hand stores, one of those second-hand typewriter stores in Washington.
Well, wherever it is, you've got to find it. And some letters. If you can, it could be big trouble.
Why, what sort of trouble?
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know if you're aware of this, Alger, but there's a federal grand jury in New York investigating communist conspiracies. In my view, there's a great danger they might indict you. Now, I can't handle that from here in Baltimore. Of course, I'd do everything I could to help Ed McLean.
Well, yes.
Will you be wanting coffee now?
Later, perhaps.
Do you really think I might be indicted?
Yes, I do. I'm afraid I do.
Oh, my God.
Well, there's nothing to be alarmed about. But one thing is important. We have to be very straight with one another. We both know that in almost all libel cases, the plaintiff is, in fact, the defendant. Remember Oscar Wilde? He sued Queensberry and landed himself in a whole heap of trouble.
What are you saying, Bill?
What I'm saying is, if you have any skeletons in the closet, now's the time to declare them.
The cupboard is bare. What Chambers has said is not true. He is lying. I have never been disloyal.
Mr. Nixon, this is Mr. Vizana. Mr. Nicholas Vizana. He's one of the attorneys who's been retained by Time magazine to look after Whitaker Chambers.
Good to see you, Mr. Vizana. Sit down, won't you? What can I do for you?
Well, as I was telling Mr. Stripling here, something has come up that I think you should know about.
What's on your mind?
Well, I've been reading press reports that the Justice Department may not proceed with the Hiss case. Is there any truth in that?
Your guess is as good as mine. It's a possibility.
Well, supposing the case is dropped, what effect will that have on the House Committee?
I'm sure you don't need me to answer that. Everybody knows that President Truman wants to dump the committee in the trash can. If the Hiss case gets screwed up...
Mr. Nixon, I think that you ought to know, I think it's important for you to know, that Mr. Chambers has recently disclosed a number of highly incriminating documents.
What's in these documents?
Well, I'm afraid that I can't tell you that.
Why not?
Well, because they've already been handed over to the Department of Justice, and if I were to reveal their contents to you, I'd be held in contempt of court.
What can you tell us?
Well, I just thought that you ought to know that these documents exist, and that they have a direct bearing on the Hiss Chambers libel suit.
The point is, Dick, if this evidence is strong enough, it could give us a whole new lease on life.
That's right.
Frankly, Mr. Vizana, we need more than just another juicy rumor.
Oh, it's more than that, I promise you.
You've seen these papers?
Yes, I have.
Okay, what are they? Can't you give us some idea?
Oh, well, in all, there are 65 pages of typed documents and 4 memos in Mr. Hiss's handwriting.
All relating to State Department material, right?
Yes, that's correct.
The story is that Hiss gave them to Chambers, who in turn was going to pass them on to some Russian agent.
So we're talking about confidential and secret material, right?
I really can't say any more, Mr. Nixon.
When was all of this supposed to have happened?
How do you mean?
When was his playing around with this Russian?
1938.
Which means we can't get him for espionage.
Right.
It's too long ago.
Statute of limitations.
But we could get him for perjury, if we could prove that he lied.
It's a possibility.
Now look, Mr. Vizana, I'm due to go on vacation this week. Do you think I should still go?
That's your decision, not mine.
How can I make the right decision unless I know what's in those papers?
I don't think we should ask Mr. Vazana to stick his neck out over this.
Come on now, Strip. What have we been doing for the past few months? I risked my neck for Chambers. I treated him like a friend. And how does he repay me?
I don't think you can blame...
Don't start making excuses for him. If he's had those papers for the past 10 years, why the hell didn't he give them to us? We could have had this whole case sewn up. We could have Alger Hiss walking around with a ball and chain. Why in God's name didn't he produce these papers before? Why?
I don't know.
Well, maybe he was lying. Have you thought about that?
Why should he be lying?
I don't think he's got a damn thing. I'm going right ahead with my plans for my vacation. I don't know what to make of this guy. I can't figure him out. He translated Bambi. Did you know that? I asked him. It's true. He translated Bambi. Why didn't he tell us about those papers? What's going on? I'm sick and tired of this goddamn case. Sick and tired of it.
Well, if that's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
Okay. Right. Okay.
I'm sorry that I couldn't tell you any more.
It's okay, I understand.
Dick, why don't we just slap a subpoena on him?
On who?
Chambers. Why don't we serve a blanket subpoena on him to produce anything and everything he still has in his possession? Why don't we do that, Dick?
Do you think he has anything more?
Yes, I do.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. But I'll tell you this, Mr. Nixon, if he's got what I think he's got, it'll blow the dome right off the Capitol building.
There's no rational explanation for why she behaved like this. How do you take it?
Cream, please.
So when Alger said he knew a psychoanalyst who might be willing to help...
Only too willing.
Well, that's good news. I'm delighted.
Thank you. Do you know whether Chambers has any history of mental illness?
We're investigating that. We're also investigating certain sexual irregularities.
Uh-huh. You mean,
Yeah. When he was younger, Chambers wrote a number of stories and poems with a markedly homosexual content.
Uh-huh.
He's married now, but I think it's feasible that Chambers had a strong homosexual attraction towards Alger. And because this was frustrated, he now seeks to destroy the man he once desired.
Just look what I dug up. Forgive me, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were busy.
Ed, this is Dr. Binger. Dr. Binger, Ed McClain.
How do you do?
how do you do?
What's the problem?
No problem. My secretary just found this file of old letters Algiers sent Bill Marbury when they were checking dates for the House committee hearings. They're all typed and they're all from the 1930s.
Let me see.
We need these letters for the documents examiner. With luck, he'll be able to prove these letters and the papers Chambers produced were typed on different typewriters, which means Alger will be in the clear. End of story.
Well, let's hope it's that simple.
Mr. Chambers, I have Mr. Stripling on the line. Can you take the call?
Yes, put him on.
Miss Chambers, good to speak to you.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
I gather you'll be in Washington tomorrow?
That's right.
Good.
Now, look, I've been talking to your lawyer about this subpoena we served on you, and he confirms that you have more documentary material in your possession. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, fine. Here's what I suggest. Where is this material?
It's at home on the farm.
Okay. I'll have 2 of my investigators drive out there with you. Can you be at my office around 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, I can.
Fine. I'll be in touch, Mr. Chambers.
Okay, Bill, take it slowly. What's on the film? Can you see?
He wants to know what's on the film.
It looks like State Department documents.
He thinks it's from the State Department.
Ask Chambers why he kept them.
He wants to know why you kept them.
I suppose they might be called life preservers. I thought if I were ever in danger of being assassinated, I could protect myself by threatening to expose the espionage conspiracy.
Okay, fine. Now you get back here just as fast as you can, and for God's sake, don't breathe a word to a single living soul. Holy cow. Telegram from Robert E. Stripling to Richard M. Nixon aboard the steamship Panama. Bombshell obtained by subpoena, 1 a.m. Friday. Stop. Case clinched. Stop. Information amazing. Stop. Heat is on from press and other places. Stop. Immediate action appears necessary. Stop. Can you possibly get back?
Can you tell us where you were when you received the telegram, Mr. Nixon?
Well, I was sitting at the captain's table, as a matter of fact. When I read the telegram, my wife threw up her hands and said, "Here we go again."
You know what's on the microfilm?
No, I don't, not yet. But I have a feeling that it'll prove to the American people once and for all that where there's a communist, there's an espionage agent.
One more question. One question.
Looks good.
For God's sake, Strip, tell him to hurry up.
I already told him. These things take time.
Come in.
Morning, Mr. Nixon. Mr. Stripling.
How are you?
Any news?
Strip's on the phone with Eastman Kodak. They're getting the emulsion numbers.
The what?
Apparently there's some sort of code, some sort of number that shows when the film was manufactured.
In other words, we'll be able to prove that the material on the microfilm dates from 1938.
Right.
Yes, Mr. Lewis? That's okay. When? Are you sure? Okay, thanks. Take a deep breath, Dick. The film wasn't manufactured till 1945.
What?
That's what he said.
Get him back on the line. Tell him to check.
He already checked.
Oh, my God. I'm ruined. Get Chambers on the phone. He's in New York. What the hell are we going to do?
Well, I don't know.
We've got a press conference in half an hour. Don't you realize that? What the hell are we going to say?
We'll have to tell him the truth. We'll have to tell him that Chambers is a liar.
It'll be the biggest crow-eating performance in the history of Capitol Hill. You got us into this. This is all your fault.
I don't know anything about
You realize what this means, don't you? This is the end of my political career.
Hello? Yes? No, this is his mother speaking. If you'd like to hold on a moment, I'll get him for you.
Mr. Chambers, is that you, Mr. Chambers?
Yes.
Now look. Am I correct in understanding that those papers were put on film in 1938?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. We've just had a report from the Eastman Kodak Company that the film of the type you turned over to us was not made by the company until after 1945. What do you say about that?
What's your answer, Mr. Chambers?
I don't understand it. God must be against me.
You'd better have a better answer than that. The subcommittee is meeting at the Commodore Hotel at 9 o'clock tonight. You'd better be there.
Yes. Speaking. Yes, Mr. Lewis. Are you sure? They made a mistake. They used the same number in 1938 and 1945.
Yes, hello?
Listen, you're in the clear. Those dumbasses at Kodak made some damn fool mistake. Uh-huh. How's that?
Thank you, Mr. Vazana.
Poor Chambers. Nobody ever believes him at first.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like a particular kind of pesticide. Something strong. Cyanide compound, maybe.
Yes, sir. I think I've got exactly what you're looking for. There you are.
2 will be enough.
Now, you gotta be careful when you use this stuff. It's dangerous.
Is it?
Yes, sir. Breathe enough of it, it can kill you.
My testimony against Alger Hiss is the truth. But the world is not ready for my testimony. I've never wished to injure any individual man or woman. The only way I can spare them injury is to remove myself as a witness against them. My act is not suicide in the usual sense, for I have no desire to stop living. It is self-execution.
Time to wake up, dear. It's 8 o'clock. Gideon, are you all right? Gideon.
Alger, Ed McLean. Bad news, I'm afraid. I gave those old letters to the document expert. He's compared them with the Chambers material, and he's pretty sure that they were both typed on the same machine. Alger?
Yes, I hear you.
He says the typewriter was an old Woodstock.
Not an Underwood.
No, definitely a Woodstock. Now, if you want to see the report, I have it here at my office.
Oh, there's something wrong here. First, he says the typing pattern's not the same, and here on the second page, he says it is.
No, let me explain. He compared samples of Prossy's typing from those old letters with samples from the papers we got from Chambers, right? What he's saying is that the typing pattern is not the same. That's to say, Prossy did not type the Chambers material. But and this is a hell of an important but, he does think that both sets of documents were typed on the same machine.
On the Woodstock?
Right. What do you want me to do?
Well, I think we should tell the FBI we found these letters and to give them copies.
Okay.
You agree?
Whatever you say, Alger.
As a matter of fact, I think we got that old machine from Mr. Fonsler, my wife's father, but God knows where it is now.
Well, we gotta find that typewriter. And find it fast.
What prompted you to come here, Mr. Wadley?
I went to see a lawyer. Mr. DeMarco, I think you know him. When all this Alger Hiss business got into the papers, I went to see Mr. DeMarco, and he told me to talk things over with the FBI.
That was good advice, Mr. Wadley. Very sound and sensible. So in straightforward language, you're telling us you gave State Department documents to Whittaker Chambers?
Yes, that's right. It was my understanding that he then photographed them and sent the film to Moscow. And then, of course, I returned the papers to the department.
Uh-huh. Why did you do this? Were you paid?
No.
What was your motive then?
I wanted to help the Soviets defend themselves against Germany and Japan.
You said this took place when? 1936?
Yes, that's when it started.
The Russians weren't fighting the Germans or the Japanese then.
That's true, but it was no secret that Hitler and the Japs were getting ready to attack them. Chambers and his associates always emphasized that they wanted information on Germany and Japan, nothing more. And a few years later, of course, we were indeed fighting on the same side as the Soviets. It's difficult for me to explain all this. I mean, our relations with the Soviets have changed beyond all recognition. They are now the enemy in the Cold War. And people have such short memories. Anyone who has ever done anything to help Russia is now branded as a traitor.
From which I assume you do not regard yourself as a traitor to the United States.
No, I do not. Most certainly, I do not. If any of the information I gave the Russians helped them fight Hitler, then it helped us too. We were allies, after all. Though that seems to have been forgotten.
Where do you stand now? Still want to help the Soviets?
No, I do not. As I just said, things have changed. I have changed.
I see. Now, when you gave these documents to Whittaker Chambers, you were working in the Trade Agreements Division?
Yes.
Is it your understanding that Chambers was in contact with any other people in the State Department?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who these people were?
No, I do not.
You have no idea at all?
No, sir.
Alger, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm going to say. You know, it's one of the few privileges of old age that people don't actually tell you to shut up in mid-sentence. On the other hand, I have a sneaking suspicion that they only listen with half an ear. But I beg you, Alger, listen now and listen well. And I'm not talking to you as a trustee of the endowment, nor even as a lawyer. I'm talking to you as a friend who believes in your innocence and wants to offer a word or two of advice. I've had 50 years' experience of our legal system, and that experience has taught me that I should never allow a client of mine to appear before a grand jury. And I mean never. It's the right of every American citizen, after all. Nobody can force you to testify. Nobody. If it were like a trial, that would be different. But it's not. The prosecutor can lead a jury any place he chooses, and you have no defense. I mean, I've known cases where a witness has testified to something which was later distorted and used against him, and such cases are not uncommon. Be warned. That's all I have to say. No matter what you decide, you can rely on my continued support.
Thank you, sir. I'm honored that you should have taken the time to talk to me this way. But I must tell you that appearing before the grand jury is something I feel I must do. I have nothing to hide.
Alger, you're making a big mistake. You've already put your head in the lion's mouth. And now you're going to tickle his throat.
I have here copies of the material produced by Mr. Chambers on November 17th. Were you present when these documents were handed over to your lawyer, Mr. Marbury?
No, sir, I was not.
But you have examined them.
Yes, I have.
Will you agree they appear to be copies of genuine State Department material?
They are certainly very similar to the regular State Department material which passed through my office.
Yes, I see. Did you once know a State Department employee by the name of Julian Wadley?
Wadley? Yes, I know Julian Wadley.
Did you know him well?
Yes, I knew him very well professionally. He was one of the officers with the Trade Agreements Division.
Did you ever meet him socially?
No, sir, I did not.
Did you ever go to his house, or did he ever come to your house?
No, sir.
Mr. Hiss, to the best of your knowledge, did Mr. Wadley know Mr. Chambers?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Mr. Chambers, in October last, you denied having any direct knowledge of espionage.
Yes, sir.
But that was untrue.
Yes, sir.
In other words, you lied. Is that not correct, Mr. Chambers?
Yes, sir, it is.
Can you give us any reason or motive for your actions?
In my view, there are in general two kinds of men. One kind believes that God is a God of justice. The other kind believes that God is a God of mercy. I'm so constituted that in any question, I will range myself on the side of mercy.
Well, shall I tell you something to brighten your morning?
Please do.
Some wise guys in the Justice Department are saying that the grand jury should indict Chambers and not his.
You're kidding.
If only I was.
What?
Technically, it's valid. Nobody can deny that. And Chambers has lied to him. He is guilty of perjury.
Oh, Jesus. Have you told Dick Nixon about it?
Just about to.
God, he'll hit the roof.
He sure will.
We have learned from unimpeachable sources that the Justice Department now plans to indict Chambers for perjury before any of the other people named by Chambers in this conspiracy are indicted. But Chambers has confessed. He is in the open. He is no longer a danger to our security. If Chambers is indicted first, Hiss and the others will go free because the witness against them will have been discredited as a perjurer. I believe that the administration is trying to use this device to block the investigation. Only the grand jury can prevent a cover-up. I appeal to them. Indict the traitor.
Julian Wadley.
Hello, Alger. This is a wretched business, isn't it?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
You got the big old comic yet? Thank you.
Alger, the FBI has been asking me questions.
That's scarcely surprising. They seem to have been talking to everyone.
Maybe, but it's cost me my job.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I've been working for the Italian Economic Commission, and when I told them about the FBI and said I'd been subpoenaed by the grand jury, well, they fired me on the spot.
I'm sorry, Julian. That's bad luck.
My lawyers told me that I shouldn't talk to you, but I think it's only fair to warn you that I've told the FBI I passed some documents to Chambers. In fairness to you, I feel that you should know that. In fact, my lawyer said I mustn't answer any questions or talk at all because one thing will lead to another and I'll say too much.
Well, yes. That's right. Your lawyer's quite right.
You think so?
Oh, yes. After all, anything you say to me, she'll have to repeat before the grand jury if I'm asked to do so.
Why?
What do you mean?
Like you, I shall be testifying under oath, which means that if I am asked, I shall have to repeat what you just told me.
When you were working at the State Department, Mr. Hiss, did you ever take work home in the evening?
Sometimes, yes.
But wasn't it forbidden to take materials, documents out of the building?
Not at all. I never heard of such a rule.
The material you took home, would it include classified material?
Normally, I only took unclassified material out of the building.
But presumably you might have taken classified material home unintentionally. You might have made a mistake.
Yes, that's possible.
Well, Mr. Hiss, can we direct your attention toward the documents that Mr. Chambers alleges he received from you? Now, you say he must have gotten them, taken them from one of the State Department offices. How do you think he could have done this?
Well, there are two ways. First, he could have walked in and taken them himself during office hours. Or, second, he might have had a Confederate.
Do you have any idea who this Confederate might have been?
No, I do not. But I think it is only relevant to tell you that during the course of a casual conversation, Mr. Wadley told me that he had given some documents to Mr. Chambers.
Mrs. Hiss, can we just establish one thing? In your view, in your remembrance, Mr. Chambers used the name Crosley when you knew him in the 1930s?
Yes, that is correct.
Were any of your friends introduced to the Crosleys?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember.
Didn't you have a maidservant at that time?
Yes, we did.
Well, isn't it possible that she would have seen the Crosleys when they came to visit you?
The maid we had at that time, her name was Clyde Caplett. But I believe she's dead.
About the Woodstock typewriter, Mrs. Hiss. How long did you have it? Do you know?
Well, I can't be sure. I know we had it in 1933 and in 1934 because I was working on a book at that time. But I didn't use it very much after that.
Well, when did you get rid of this typewriter?
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Well, did you give it away or sell it or what?
We may have given it to the Salvation Army. We may have just junked it. I really don't remember.
Did Chambers ever use that typewriter?
He never had my permission to use it.
Was there ever any conversation about his using it?
No, not that I recall.
Mrs. Hiss, are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
No.
Have you ever belonged to a communist organization?
No, I don't think so.
You are familiar with the accusations Chambers has made about your typing, about your husband having taken government documents, and about Chambers saying how you typed them and so forth.
There's not a shred of truth in any of these accusations.
Can you spare a minute?
What's the problem?
In here. Now look, the FBI has cracked this case. You're in it up to your eyes, and your wife is in it. So why don't you just go in there and tell the jury the truth?
I have been telling the truth, Mr. Campbell, and will continue to do so.
You're going to be indicted. I'm not fooling. There are 5 witnesses against you.
I'm not fooling either.
This is your government speaking. I want to make that plain. Do you understand?
I understand.
Your wife will be included.
Yes, I understand.
Don't worry, he's bluffing.
Well, I hope so.
He's losing his nerve. There's only a couple more days before this grand jury is dismissed. They need an indictment, that's all.
Just a minute, Mr. Hiss. Are you suggesting that somehow Mr. Chambers took advantage of your absence from Washington, broke into your house, and typed these documents on your typewriter? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, sir. I am suggesting that he may have taken the typewriter, which, as I have already explained, we very seldom used. He could have taken the typewriter and kept it for some time without our being aware of it.
Isn't that a rather fantastic theory, Mr. Hiss?
Well, I think you should understand that Mr. Chambers is himself a fantastic person.
Well, what exactly do you mean by that?
In my view, Mr. Chambers is a person of unsound mind and not normal. I believe that for a reason which I don't pretend to fully understand, he has acquired a grudge against me and is trying to destroy me.
You think he's trying to frame you?
Yes, I think he's deliberately trying to frame me.
Is this just your own opinion, or is it based on any expert psychiatric advice?
Well, my lawyers and I have been consulting a very eminent psychiatrist.
May we know his name, please?
Dr. Binger, Dr. Carl Binger.
Well, has this man, Binger, actually examined Mr. Chambers?
No, sir, he has not.
In other words, this is all conjecture.
I don't think you should dismiss it as casually as that, Mr. Worthy.
I'd like to make one observation for the record, Mr. Hiss. You wouldn't be the first man to testify falsely to shield his wife.
What do you imply?
I am making no implication. I am asking specifically if you are shielding Mrs. Hiss.
No, sir, I am not.
You're not?
I am not shielding my wife for the simple reason that my wife needs no shielding in this matter.
Have you ever had any form of personal relationship with Mr. Chambers?
Do you mean other than friendship?
I think you know what I mean, Mr. Hiss.
The answer is no. I have never had any sort of personal relationship with Mr. Chambers.
Well, do you know of any relationship between Mr. Chambers and Mrs. Hiss, which might have given Mr. Chambers a motive for trying to frame you?
No, sir, I do not.
In other words, you can give us no explanation as to how or why Mr. Chambers might have gotten hold of those typewritten documents.
No, sir, I cannot. It is possible, I suppose, that they may have been forged. It is equally possible that Mr. Chambers could have used my typewriter without my knowing it.
Do you really believe that's possible, Mr. Hiss?
Yes, I do. But until the day I die, I shall wonder how Whittaker Chambers got into my house to use my typewriter.
For perjury. Jury unanimous. 11 for indictment, 8 against. What about Chambers? Give me clear.
You should have taken my advice. Why didn't you? Never appear before a grand jury.
I made a miscalculation.
You made a mistake.
The truth is, sir, I couldn't believe that everyone wouldn't love me once I was there.
If it was your character on trial, there'd be no problem. I'd be your witness, so would Felix Frankfurter, so would a dozen others. But there's more to it than that. Never underestimate your opponents. That could be fatal.
Well, maybe it's for the best. Now I'll have a chance to disprove everything in court. The staff here gave me some money to help with defense costs. Even the switchboard operator gave me a few dollars. That means a lot to me.
You have my home phone. Call me. Let me know what's happening.
Yes, sir, I will. And thank you for this leave of absence.
I know some of the trustees wanted me more permanently removed.
Be careful, Alger. Don't make any more mistakes.
Yes, hello. I'd like to talk to somebody handling the Alger Hiss case. I have some information that might be useful to you.
The point is, Mr. McLean, as Alger's attorney, I think you should be aware that this case may not be entirely what it seems.
And what does it seem?
Now, please don't think I'm being disloyal. I'm not. I'm not just voicing my own opinion. It happens to be an opinion that's shared with a great many of Alger's friends and associates. And that goes without saying that I don't believe that Alger stole those documents. But equally, I don't believe that he's told us all he knows about his relationship with Chambers.
In what respect?
Frankly, I think he might be covering up for his wife.
And what makes you think that, Mr. Dollard?
There's a woman who works at the Carnegie Corporation, a file clerk. She's been there a good many years, and she told me that everyone knew Mrs. Hiss had been a communist in the 30s.
Does she have any proof of this?
Not really, no. But I think that Alger should be made aware of these suspicions. It would be dumb to hide things unnecessarily. I mean, if nothing else, he should come to us. Speaking of Prosy, did you ever hear what Alger's mother did when she found out they were going to get married? She sent him a telegram. Do not take this fatal step. And there's something else. This homosexual theory. You know that Alger's stepson, Timothy, is a homosexual. But we were wondering if he might not have been involved with Chambers in some way.
We're talking about 1938. Timmy was only 11 then.
Or Alger might have been involved. Alger? Well, all this talk about Chambers' teeth. Don't you think that might be significant?
Yes.
It's good of you to meet me here. I didn't want to come to your office because I don't know that I want to get legally involved with...
Yes, I understand.
I understand.
Of course. You knew Chambers in the 30s?
In the 20s and 30s, yes. I was a communist then myself. I hear you're looking for indications of certain abnormalities.
Sexual abnormalities.
There was this guy called Bob. Chambers was very friendly with a guy called Bob. They lived together in the mid-20s, I think.
Bob what?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I wasn't much interested in rumors like that. I knew he was married. Happily married, so... Anyway, let me tell you what happened in 1932. See, I was in Chicago attending a convention at the John Reed clubs. You know, Jack Reed. Chambers was a delegate from New York. And since I knew him, I got him a room in the lodgings where I was staying. I was late. Very tired after a day's work, so we said goodnight. I went up to my room. In the middle of the night, I was awakened in the midst of having an orgasm. I looked down, and there was Chambers laboring away at my penis. So I shoved him aside. I moved away. I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. And he stayed there about an hour.
He did what?
He stayed for about an hour. He was pleading with me to... and then he left.
This could be a big break for us, Mr. Harold. This story of yours is the first direct evidence we have that Chambers is or was a homosexual. Now, we're going to ask you to make a formal statement. Would you agree to that? Look, I understand you're not wanting to get legally involved, but this is... Believe me, this could be a very, very important thing for us.
This way, Mr. Chambers.
Oh, Mr. Chambers, good afternoon. I gather you wanted to see me?
Yes. It's about these inquiries I understand Hiss's lawyers have been making about my sexual activities. I'd like to make a full statement about these allegations.
Now, I really don't want to use this.
Alger, listen, the man's telling the truth. I'm sure of it. There's no reason for him to lie.
I'm sure he's not lying. I feel very uneasy about the whole homosexual angle. I want to stay away from it.
So do I.
Now, just a minute.
Now, I know you think it's important, and in many ways you're right. We could do Chambers a lot of damage.
Yes. If a jury believes that Chambers is a homosexual, it could destroy him.
That's exactly the kind of tactic that can so easily backfire. That's right. People will accuse us of running a smear campaign.
That's right. As I said all along, it's almost impossible to prove any of this.
I have no objection to smearing Chambers, provided it's done effectively. We're already smearing him as a liar, a thief, and a scoundrel. What's the difference between that and smearing him as a homosexual?
Sometime in 1933, or was it 1934, I met a young fellow on the street in New York. I was footloose and fancy-free. Well, I took him to a hotel. I don't remember which one. It was just a hotel. That night, I had my first homosexual experience. It was a revelation to me. Because it had been repressed for so long, it was more violent than it might have been otherwise if it set off a chain reaction in me, which I found it almost impossible to control. From that time until 1938, I engaged in numerous homosexual experiences, both in New York and Washington. I actively sought out opportunities for homosexual relations in such places as Minneapolis and Pennsylvania and Washington, D.C., right here. In 1938, I managed to break myself of my homosexual tendencies. Now, this is not to say that I was immune to such stimuli, but only that my self-control was complete. And thereafter, I led a blameless life as a husband and father. Now, the Hiss forces, of course, will seek to prove that my weakness entered into my relations with Alger Hiss.
Have a seat.
And possibly others. It's completely untrue. Having testified mercilessly against others, it has now become my function to testify mercilessly against myself. This is not from love of self-destruction, but because only if we are prepared to destroy ourselves in the struggle can the thing we are fighting be destroyed.
The director will see you now, sir.
Thank you, Sam.
Sit down. Did you know he was going to make this statement?
No, sir. He just walked in and, well, said he had something to tell us. I thought I should let you see it right away, Mr. Hoover.
I'm glad you did. As you know, the Hiss defense lawyers have been trying to find proof that Chambers is a pervert.
Yes, sir, I believe so. I'll make sure this is all kept 100% confidential.
Yes, you do that. You see, our job is to cleanse this country of the communist scourge, and homosexuality's got nothing to do with it. Now, we can't afford to let people's prejudices obscure the path to justice.
No, sir.
Now, Alger Hiss is a stepson. His wife's boy by her first marriage.
Yes, sir?
Now, the boy was discharged from the Navy over some homosexual incident. Hiss is very fond of the boy, and I'm sure he wouldn't want that made public. Why don't you send a couple of your men around and have them ask the boy a few questions? That should persuade Hiss not to try any kind of a smear campaign against Chambers.
Yes, sir.
Any sign of that typewriter yet?
No, sir, not yet.
Well, keep looking. Use all the men you want. That typewriter could mean positive, undeniable evidence. And that's what we need.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we found another one. Where do you want it? Last door on the right.
number did you say?
733 Howard. Hello?
Alger's Harold. Now listen, don't get your hopes up, but we just got a call from Pat Catlin, Pliny, son.
Yes, I remember Pat.
Yeah, well, his mother's not dead. Now, Prossie was wrong about that. They're all living down in Washington, and Ed McLean's on his way to see him right now.
Well, that's wonderful news, Harold.
What's more, Alger, they actually remember the old typewriter. It was them you gave it to. And with any luck, they'll know where it is.
The FBI came to see us, Mr. McLean.
But we didn't tell him anything.
No, nothing.
Mr. and Mrs. Hiss were good to us. In all the years I was cooking and cleaning for them, they were real kind to us. Now they're in trouble, and we want to help if we can.
Mom was right.
They were always giving us clothes and so on. They were always real good to us.
Yes, I understand.
That's why we thought we should see you before the FBI came back.
Yes. You said something about an old typewriter?
Yeah, well, they sure had an old typewriter, but Mike and I don't know what kind it is.
It was a Woodstock. I know it was a Woodstock. It needed fixing, and I remember taking it to a place on K Street.
When was that?
When I'm not...
I know it happened a long time ago, but please try to remember.
Well, I guess it was when Mr. and Mrs. Hiss moved. Can't say I know which move it was.
It is very important for us to fix the date exactly. Think about it. Try to remember.
Okay.
Now, what happened to the typewriter? Do you still have it?
Oh, no, Mr. McLean. I gave it to Bernetta. She's my sister. She wanted to use it for her high school work.
She wasn't living with us then, you see. She lived with Dr. Easton and his family. They kind of brought her up.
Dr. Easton was very good to me. Treated me like his own daughter. And when he died, me and my husband moved to Detroit. I don't remember nothing about a typewriter. I guess we left it behind.
Yeah, that's right, about the house where Dr. Easton died. I don't know anything about any property belonging to this Bernetta or her husband. House had been cleaned out before I moved in. Vernon cleaned it out for me. He did a real good job. The whole place was clean and tidy. No typewriter, that's for sure.
Sure, I remember cleaning Mr. Marlowe's house. Just get rid of all this junk, Vernon, he said. And that's just what I did. But I don't remember no typewriter. That Bernetta must have taken it with her.
Vernon's lying. He wouldn't let us take anything away. He wanted to keep everything. Maybe he kept the typewriter. Maybe he sold it. Give him $10. He'll tell you.
Yeah. I remember. It's all coming back. I didn't sell the typewriter. I gave it to Bill. You better go see Bill.
That's right, an old Woodstock. I brought it to a guy and he cleaned it up and put in a new ribbon and fixed the broken keys. It works okay. Not great, but okay. If you want it, it's yours for $15.
Mrs. Hiss, this is Mr. Fearon. He'll tell you what to do.
Glad to meet you, Mrs. Hiss.
How do you do?
You've explained what this is all about?
Briefly.
I gather you're an expert in documents.
Yes, that's correct. What we want you to do is type out a few sample sentences so that we can make a thorough examination in my laboratory. Is that okay?
Yes, fine. Whatever you want.
Okay, good. If you'll take a seat, make yourself comfortable. I want you to copy this document. I want you to type as fast as you reasonably can. That is to say, I want you to type at your usual speed. Okay, Mrs. Hiss?
Yes. It has been a long time since I've done much typing.
That's okay. I understand. Just very slow. That's good. You would have had to work fast to retype those stolen documents overnight. I regret that I'm compelled to report that it's my opinion that both sets of documents were typed on the Woodstock typewriter number 230099. I did hope that my report of this typewriting would be in favor of your client. I'm positive that it is not. I cannot discover anything to help us. Sincerely, Edwin H. Fioran.
Don't be too depressed, Alger. If Pat Catlett is right, and you gave him that typewriter in December 1937, there's no way you could have typed those papers in 1938. People make mistakes, even document examiners.
As I was telling Mr. Tolson, we have a problem with regard to the typewriter found by the Hiss defense.
The Woodstock?
Yes, sir. There's a certain discrepancy.
Tell me about it. And keep it simple.
I'll try. It seems that the Woodstock was given to Mrs. Hiss by her father, Thomas Fansler. Now, Fansler's dead, but his business partner remembers that they bought the typewriter in the spring or summer of 1927 from a man called Grady, Thomas Grady. We interviewed Grady, and he told us that he ceased to work for the Woodstock Typewriter Company in December of 1927. Now, that means that the typewriter given to Mrs. Hiss had to be bought before that date. We then consulted all the Woodstock records to check the serial numbers of all machines manufactured before December 1927. Now, I have here, sir, a list that was sent to us by the vice president of the company. Now, it shows that the serial number of the Fansler typewriter could not possibly be higher than 204500. Now, the serial number of the machine unearthed by the Hiss defense is, in fact, 230099. That's way above our top limit.
So somebody's made a mistake.
That's what it looks like.
You're quite sure about all this?
There's no doubt about it, sir.
Why haven't the Hiss people discovered this mistake?
They weren't given access to the Woodstock files.
Oh, then it's their problem, not ours.
There is a dangerous area here. Our own experts have said that they believe that both sets of papers were typed on the same machine.
And by both sets of papers, you mean?
The letters typed by Mrs. Hiss in the 1930s and the stolen documents produced by Mr. Chambers in Baltimore last fall.
I still don't see the problem. If we can prove that both sets of documents were typed on the same typewriter, does it really matter that the Hiss people have the wrong one?
Oh, well, it might, sir, because we've been informed that a documents examiner employed by the Hiss defense has positively stated that both sets of papers were typed on Woodstock number 230099.
Which is, in fact, impossible.
It's utterly impossible.
You see the danger here, Chief, if expert witnesses start to disagree, or worse, if they testify to something that's clearly impossible, well, then the jury's not going to believe anything they say. And the case against Alger Hiss is blown right apart before we get started.
Yeah, that is a real danger. I agree.
Very real danger, yes.
Yes, but only if the authenticity of this Woodstock typewriter is questionable. So let's not question it. Through hard and thorough work, we have discovered a certain contradiction. The Hiss people believe they have found the right machine. Let's not disillusion them. Frankly, I don't see why we should give Mr. Hiss any more help than we have to. Let his lawyers make their own discoveries, if they can. Has a trial date been set?
Yes, June 1st. And guess who they've hired to lead the defense?
Who?
Lloyd Paul Stryker.
No doubt we will see him weep when the verdict goes against him. He has a habit of shedding tears. Did you know that?
No, sir.
When things go wrong, he weeps. I sometimes think that Mr. Stryker gained his early experience on Broadway rather than law school.
Up Times Square to Columbus Circle, lights channel the congresses, nightly sessions, refractions of the 1,000 theaters, faces, mysterious kitchens. You shall search them all. Someday by heart you learn each famous sight and watch the curtain lift on hell's despite. Hart Crane. Do you know Hart Crane, boy?
No, Mr. Stryker.
When he was a young man, about 30, he went down to Mexico, had a job in a tea room. He came back by sea, jumped overboard, and drowned himself. I admire that. Poets should lead poetic lives and then die poetically.
Mr. Hiss and Mr. McLean are here.
All right, show them in.
Mr. Stryker, Mr. Hiss.
Mr. Hiss, you are most welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Stryker.
Did you get my letter about that report from the documents examiner?
Yes, I got it. Now, don't be downhearted. In my view, documents don't matter. The heart of this case is your character and reputation. That's our greatest strength. I know New York juries. And I know that as long as I'm defending you, you will never be convicted.
All persons having business with the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, draw near, give your attention, and you shall be heard. God save the United States of America.
What then is this case all about? The government charges that the defendant, Mr. Hiss, lied when he testified before the grand jury on December 15th, 1948. He lied the first time when he said that he never gave any State Department documents to Whittaker Chambers. The second count of the indictment, and it is a separate charge, says that the defendant lied when he said that he never saw or conversed with Whittaker Chambers after January 1st, 1937. That, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is the indictment, or a summary of it. You can see that the ultimate issue you have to decide is whether or not this man lied, and lied deliberately concerning those two subject matters.
This trial's going to make you a public figure, sir. My readers are going to ask what kind of man you are. What should I tell them?
You can say that my brother once pitched for the Yankees. I get my suits from Omar the tent maker, and I read Proust.
May it please your honor, Mr. Foreman, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I think the first statement that I'm going to make may surprise you. And that is that we are glad to be here, right here in a court of justice. The days of the Klieg lights, the television, and all the paraphernalia, the propaganda that surrounded the beginning of this story are over. We are here in a dignified and calm and quiet and fair court of justice. And we are glad, as I said before, to be right here. Many years ago, ladies and gentlemen, a great philanthropist in this city, Andrew Carnegie, set up a huge trust to found the Endowment for International Peace, in which Mr. Carnegie was greatly interested. Trustees were appointed to select a president for this endowment. Now, they were not stupid men, these trustees, and they looked around in the United States to get the best man they could in America, the most trustworthy man they could find in America. And whom did they select as the third president of the Carnegie Endowment? Alger Hiss. I will take Alger Hiss by the hand, and I will lead him before you from the date of his birth down to this hour even. Though I would go through the valley of the shadow of death, I would fear no evil, for there is no blot or blemish on him. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the accused. Now, who is the accuser? He's a man who now styles himself as J. Whittaker Chambers. In 1924, when he was then grown, 23, and at an age when Alger Hiss was giving the best example that I can think of being a fine citizen, this man Chambers chose to become a member of the Communist Party. He belonged to that group of conspirators who believed it right to commit any crime. And here I see where you'll be interested, especially lying. Lying. That is one of the main tenets of this group of conspirators with which this man Chambers, alias Adams, alias Crosley, alias Cantwell, alias a great many other things, chose to connect himself. Now, did he do this for a year or two and then stop for 6 months? Oh, no. Not at all. For 12 long years, our accuser was a voluntary conspirator against the land I love and you love. Every crust of bread that went down his throat for those 12 years of his criminal life were given to him by his communist confederates. In the warm southern countries, you know, where they have leprosy, sometimes you will hear on the streets, or perhaps among the lepers, a man crying down the street, "Unclean, unclean," at the approach of a leper. I say the same to you, unclean, at the approach of this moral leper. Thank you.
Mr. Chambers, when the defendant was working for the Nye Committee in 1935, did you have any conversations with him at that time?
Certainly.
Do you recall any of them?
Yes, I recall two, definitely. The conversation concerned the procuring of
Don't tell us what the conversation's concerned. Tell us as clearly as you can what you said and what Mr. Hiss said.
I would find it very difficult to even paraphrase the exact conversation.
Can you at least tell us the substance of it?
May I say that my memory is very clear as to the substance of it?
I will allow the question.
You may state the substance.
The substance of the conversation concerned the procuring of documents from the State Department by Mr. Hiss by virtue of his position on the Nye Committee.
I'm sorry I'm late. No, it's okay. Who are all those people out there? There are some Communist Party leaders on trial in another courtroom. Hence the pickets. I thought it was something to do with Alger. That's what everyone thinks. He'll give the prosecution one hell of a goddamn advantage.
Mr. Chambers, when was the last time prior to 1948 that you saw the defendant, Alger Hiss?
I saw Alger Hiss last around Christmas, 1938.
And what conversation, if any, was had?
The conversation originally concerned my breaking with the Communist Party. I tried to set forth my reasons.
I object to that.
Don't tell us what you tried to do. Tell us what you said and what they said, or the substance of what was said.
I urged the Hisses to break with the Communist Party. They replied they would not break.
May I have this gentleman identified for the record? I don't think I met him.
This is the gentleman that I mentioned to Your Honor at the bench with Mr. Murphy.
You know who he is now, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, sir.
We will not go any further on that subject. Proceed.
I'll tell you something really strange. Some weeks ago, when we were getting all the defense material together, I drove out to Chambers' farm in Maryland. I'd gone there to examine the so-called presents that Chambers claimed Alger had given him. All of a sudden, Chambers turned to me and said, "Do you want to see something that belonged to Alger Hiss?" So I nodded and said, "Sure." And off he went down to the basement storeroom. I could hear him moving around, shifting boxes and so forth. He came trotting back with a piece of muslin. A piece of muslin he'd kept for 13 years. It had been dry cleaned, neatly folded. He'd obviously taken great care of it. This used to be part of the cover of a love seat that belonged to Alger Hiss, he said. Then he gave it to me to look at. You know, like it was some kind of holy relic or something. Well, it was really spooky.
Well, Mr. Chambers, do you know what an oath is?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is necessary to have a little more quiet here so that we may all hear the proceedings that are going on. Proceed, Mr. Stryker.
Well, what is your definition of an oath?
I would say an oath is that declaration which a man makes when he promises to tell the truth.
Well, in our country, and in our courts and elsewhere, it is an affirmation made by a man who calls on Almighty God to witness the truth of what he says. Is that right?
That's right.
I show you a photostat of a certain paper and ask you if you recognize your signature on that paper.
Is that your signature on that paper, Mr. Chambers?
Yes, I believe that's my signature.
Thank you. Now, if I have listened to you correctly, over the considerable period of time until October 1939...
1937.
1937, I'm sorry. You were an active communist, doing what you could to aid a foreign country and to help overthrow our Constitution by force and violence or any other means. Is that right?
That's right up to the point where I was already planning to break with the Communist Party.
That is not what I asked you at all. I moved to strike it out.
May I be heard of at your office?
I'm asking you.
Mr. Stryker, I will strike out. I will strike out that part of the answer where the witness said, in effect, until he decided or planned to break with the Communist Party.
Very well. Then we have your answer. That in the months, and during the month of October 1937, you were an underhanded enemy of your country, doing what you could against its interests in favor of a foreign country. Is that right?
I object to the form of the question.
I will allow it.
Is that right?
This is cross-examination.
Yes.
And on that day, did you obtain a job from the United States government? Yes or no?
I can't answer that because...
Well, look at this piece of paper and see if it helps you refresh your recollections.
Where's the date?
The date is right there.
Oh, I see.
October 18th. That's right, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Is that right?
I believe so.
And you did obtain the job, didn't you?
That is right.
And before you obtained that position, you took an oath of office, signed it, subscribed it, and swore to it. And the paper that I have shown you is a photostatic copy of that oath. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let me read this document. I, J. David Chambers, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. And it's signed, J. David Chambers. You took and subscribed to that oath, did you not?
Yes.
And it was false from beginning to end, was it not, Mr. Chambers?
Of course.
What?
Of course.
And it was perjury, wasn't it?
If you like.
There's no doubt about it, is there?
I don't think so.
All right. I offer this document in evidence.
Objection.
I thought we'd go across to the tavern on the green. What do you think?
Sure, it's a great place.
Look, I'll come straight to the point. I want to talk to you about the Hiss case. I've got a heck of a lot at stake, and I don't want to see anything go wrong.
Wrong?
The point is this. There's a stack of material on our friend Hiss. All the stuff that was gotten through the committee hearings, and I want to make sure that Tom Murphy and his staff get to use it.
Uh-huh.
It's bona fide material. I can vouch for it personally.
You want me to talk to him about it?
Would you?
Okay, Dick. Leave it to me.
Thanks. Let's go eat.
Try to get some sleep. If you need anything, I'll be in the kitchen. Just a bit, you know, overwrought. She'll be all right. Coffee?
Yeah, please.
What's on your mind, Harold?
Oh, well, I just... I mean, you know how Algy, you know how I feel about the psychological aspects of this case. I mean, if we're going to ask a jury to believe that Chambers framed you, they're going to want to know why. We've got to provide the motive. And only a psychiatrist can do that. That's why Carl's so important to us. And that's why it's important that he be in court observing Chambers.
Well, agreed. You know I agree. We've been through this time after time.
I know. It's just that, well, something's come up. I think we should have him in here. Carl? We've been talking things over, and, well, Carl feels we should try to discover something about your early relationship with Chambers. I've just been explaining. We feel we should dig up some of the details you may have forgotten.
Well, how are we going to do that?
Sodium pentothal might help.
Oh, no, no. I don't want to have anything to do with the drug.
Why not? It can't do you any harm.
No, Harold, absolutely not. No drugs of any sort.
Don't you please just tell us why not?
I don't like the idea of losing control.
Losing control?
Of what I say. I don't want to do this.
Look, Alger, let me be frank. Obviously, I believe what you say. I believe that Chambers has told us a pack of lies. My job is to try and figure out why. Now, I think there might be some significance to that phrase he used about concealed enemies. Perhaps he's trying to exercise something in himself. And perhaps that something is a homosexual desire for you. You say you have no memory or awareness of this, and I'm sure that's true, but you could possibly have repressed such a memory. A drug could release that repression. In other words, you yourself could be concealing the key to this case.
It's very persuasive, Carl, but I must tell you, if I'm holding anything back, then it has nothing to do with the outcome of this case. Subject closed.
Now, Mr. Chambers, leaving aside Mr. Hiss, did you have a Confederate in the State Department?
Confederate?
Yes.
Yes, but I don't know that the word Confederate is the proper word.
Well, did you have someone who was supplying you with documents?
We had a source in the State Department.
I mean, separate from Mr. Hiss, other than he.
That's what I meant also.
Yes. And this gentleman that you speak of was in the trade agreement section of the State Department, wasn't he?
That's right.
Would you tell us the gentleman's name?
His name was Julian Wadley.
Mr. Wadley, I'm Edward McLean. My law firm has been engaged by Alger. I need to talk to you. Is that possible?
I can't see that we've got anything to talk about.
I would be most grateful if you could spare me a few minutes. May I come in?
If you must.
It would be very useful and helpful to us if we knew what you had told the grand jury. In a case like this, we feel that all information should be freely available to both sides.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that completely.
Good. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
But I know nothing directly about Alger Hiss. And what I do know would not tip the scales in any way.
Well, then there can be no harm in telling us what you do know, can there?
Well, I'm not sure. I have received a subpoena.
By appearing as a witness for the prosecution, you could do Alger Hiss great harm. How do you feel about that?
My feeling about this case is very simple. I would like to see Alger acquitted. Whether he is guilty or not doesn't really matter. This trial's about politics, not truth.
So you'll help us then?
I can't. My lawyer has insisted that I must not talk to the defense.
Do you go along with that?
I have given my word.
Julian, don't talk to him.
Mrs. Wadley,
For God's sakes, get out and leave us alone.
It's really most important.
Tell him to leave.
Please don't think I'm being hostile. I just want to talk to your husband.
Hostile? you mean hostile?
Not to you.
Listen, Mr.
McLean.
Mr. McLean, I have every reason to be hostile, as you call it. Every reason.
Yes, I'm sure.
No, you listen to me. I'm telling you. The day all this started, all those weeks ago, all those months ago, I just sat here in front of that window. It was nighttime, pitch black outside, and I just sat here feeling completely isolated and abandoned. And all for what? Why are people treating us like this? Julian took those papers 10 years ago, not last week. It was either the communists or the fascists in those days. My husband thought he was helping his country. Does nobody realize that? Does nobody care?
Please leave us. Please. Just answer me one thing. Are you scheduled to testify at the trial? For the prosecution?
Mrs. Chambers, I have a letter to the Park School, Baltimore, written in October 1937, which is in evidence as Defendant's Exhibit F. The letter is written to the Scholarship Committee. Let me read it to you. We are the parents of Ellen, a 4-year-old, whom Miss Coe considers fit for the kindergarten group. The father, a freelance writer and translator, has just changed from editorial work with Maxim Lieber's literary agency in New York. Did you write that, Mrs. Chambers?
Yes.
What part did you not reveal?
I did not reveal that he was an underground worker for the communists.
You suppressed that.
That is right.
In order to deceive this school.
Well,
Isn't that so? Isn't that so, Mrs. Chambers?
let us rather say not to deceive the school, but to enter the child in the school.
I would rather have you answer the question. You used that suppression to deceive the school, did you not?
Yes.
Did that suppression and falsehood weigh on your conscience?
No.
Then that misrepresentation and fraud...
Is part and parcel of the communists.
I don't care about a thing being part and parcel of anything. I'm not one bit interested whether it has anything to do with any communist technique at all.
Well, you should be, sir.
Mrs. Chambers, your province here is to answer questions. You're not here to give any directions of any kind. You will please answer the questions.
My question is, in writing this misrepresentation to this private school to get your daughter in on a scholarship, you did not feel any qualms of conscience at all about your efforts to deceive...
None whatsoever.
...the authorities of the school?
No. It was not a misrepresentation, as you put it, sir. It was simply not telling the whole facts. If I were asked point blank, I probably would have told the truth. If it were permitted. If it were possible.
Have you finished your answer?
Yes.
In other words, you didn't think it was very much of a misrepresentation to present your husband to that school as a decent citizen, whereas
I
he was...
resent that! My husband is a decent citizen.
Mrs.
A
Chambers.
great man.
Mrs. Chambers, it is your province to answer the questions.
Was he a great and decent citizen in October 1937?
When he was a communist?
I'm just asking a simple question. Was he a great and decent citizen in October 1937, yes or no?
Yes, and always.
And so that the jury will understand your conception. Is it your idea that a man who was plotting and conspiring by any and all means to overthrow the government of his country, who've been sneaking around for 12 years under all kinds of names, that is your concept of the great, decent citizen? Is that right?
No. But if he believed that is the right thing to do at the moment, I believe that is a great man who lives up to his beliefs. His beliefs may change, as they did.
Won't you sit down?
I always thought analysts asked you to lie down.
Only in movies. Please sit down. Why have you come to see me?
I'm concerned about my wife. She's very disturbed by everything that's been happening. She's a Quaker, not actually a member of the sect of Quaker persuasion, and Quakers are not litigious. They don't believe in litigation. She's put off by the whole process of the law. She's also frightened. She's frightened of what she imagines the trial will be like. She expects, well, I don't know what she expects, some sort of charnel house of horrors, I should think. She's seen too many sensational trial scenes in the movies.
It's not unreasonable for her to be apprehensive.
No, of course not. But, well, let me explain. Before we were married, Prosy had an affair. She got pregnant. There was an abortion. For her sake, I have never mentioned this to anyone. Her sense of privacy is extraordinary, and I would not want to do anything. Well, I think you understand what I mean. One of her fears about the trial has been that Murphy would bring this out in cross-examining her. My lawyers asked me to take some sort of truth drug. I refused. I did not want to lose control. I didn't want to risk mentioning the abortion. It would hurt Prosy to even think that I might. I have assured the lawyers that what I am not willing to reveal has nothing whatever to do with the case. I would very much like you to tell them that this is so. Would you?
Are you there?
What is it? What's wrong?
What if they're listening to every word we say? What if...
No.
What if they can hear us? What if they've got microphones hidden somewhere?
Wait.
How do you know? How do you know?
It's all right. It's all right.
Last night, I had the most vivid and terrifying dream. Dreamt about Walter Kravitsky. Kravitsky was a Soviet agent who defected to the West in 1938. I knew him well. We spent hours together, he and I, wandering the streets and talking. He often talked about his family. One evening, he told me about how he had taken off his revolver that he usually carried and put it away in a bureau drawer. His son, his 7-year-old son, stood there watching him and asked him what he was doing. In America, nobody carries a revolver, Kravitsky said. 10 days later, they found his body in a hotel room near Union Station. He'd been shot through the head. In my dream, I saw his body. I saw the blood on the bedroom floor and the hole in his head. When I left the party, I made sure that people knew that I'd hidden those documents in that microfilm. They were my life preservers, my secret guardians. If I hadn't taken those precautions, I believe Alger Hiss would have destroyed me without a second thought.
What was it, 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock?
10.
I'm going home while I can still stay awake. Here. Alger, I'd like to talk to Prosy again before she goes back into court, all right?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow or Thursday?
Well, I'll ask her. How is she? Still having trouble sleeping?
It's a bad time for
Tell her
her.
to hang on to the fact that Chambers is lying. That'll give her strength.
She's convinced the FBI has bugged the apartment.
Well, that could certainly explain a lot of things if they are. I mean, all those details about your personal life. Chambers could have gotten everything from FBI phone taps.
Listen, maybe you could talk to Mr. Stryker tomorrow morning. Sure, what about it? I think he's still worried we're going to use the homosexual angle.
Well, we're not. Tell him.
I told him. The very idea of homosexuality embarrasses Mr. Stryker. He blushes every time he hears the word.
Well, at least that argues a certain sensitivity. I can't imagine Tom Murphy blushing at anything. My God, what a vulgarian he is.
Well, he may be a Bulgarian, but he's not a horse's ass. He's making a real impact on the jury.
You think so?
Don't you? The jury are not fools. They know what's what. They know Chambers is lying. They know I'm telling the truth. They'll get it right. Don't worry.
Well, I do worry. I worry a lot. And I'm worried that you're not worried. There's a long way to go before we're in the clear.
Mr. Anderson, you are with the State Department, are you not?
Yes, sir.
At the present time, what is your official title?
Chief of the Records Branch of the Division of Communications and Records.
Now, Mr. Anderson, have you got a telegram or cable from the original State Department record known as cable dated March 29th from Warsaw?
Yes, number 38, March 29 from Warsaw.
He's going through everything, boys, document by document, page by page, sentence by sentence. I said to him, okay, Tom. I said, the defense is offering no objections. We're perfectly prepared to concede that the documents produced by Whittaker Chambers are indeed copies of genuine State Department material. But you know Tom Murphy. Once he has his mind set on something, nothing and nobody can change him.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Baltimore exhibit number 45, which is there on the platform, is one of the exhibits that Mr. Chambers introduced. Except for the word strictly confidential, it is an exact copy of the cable from a Mr. Biddle. Was Mr. Biddle the ambassador at Warsaw then, do you know?
He was the American minister to Poland, yes, sir.
Will you tell us, please, how this document was distributed?
Distribution was made to the offices of the Secretary of State, the Undersecretary, the Counselor, Assistant Secretary Messersmith, Assistant Secretary Sayre, Assistant Secretary Wilson, the Special Assistant, Political Advisor Hornbeck, Political Advisor Dunn, Dr. Feiss, the European Division, Far Eastern Division, American Republics Division, Near Eastern Division, and the Munitions Division.
I offer that in evidence as Government's Exhibit State 45A.
I have to tell you, with all due respect, gentlemen, that those were two of the most boring days I have ever spent in a court of law. I damn near fell asleep this afternoon.
Yeah, the judge was bored. The jury was bored. Spectators were bored. Everybody was bored.
They may have been bored, but Tom Murphy made damn sure that they'd remember those documents for a long, long time. And that's all that matters.
Since 1938, I've engaged in document work for the FBI. That work consists of examinations and comparisons of question handwriting, handprinting, typewriting, stencils, carbons, paper, pencils, inks and prints, obliterations of writings, and other such examinations.
Have you had occasion to make an examination of the documents relating to this case?
Yes, sir, I have. I've examined 69 pages of documents, which I refer to as the Baltimore Papers, known handwriting of the defendant, and in the 69 documents, there was both question handwriting and question typewriting.
Now, making that examination, what did you use to compare the Baltimore documents with? What documents?
Well, I used those to compare with known typewriting specimens which were submitted to me, consisting of 4 documents which had been typed on a typewriter belonging to Mrs. Hiss.
What conclusion did you come to
Well, I reached
after making these comparisons?
conclusion that the government's exhibits were typed by the same machine which typed the four known standards which were submitted to me for comparison purposes.
So, in your opinion, the Baltimore typewritten documents were written on the same typewriter that typed 4 known specimens?
That is right.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mr. Wadley, I gather from your direct examination that during the period that you were working with Mr. Chambers, that you were in quest of what I think I wrote down as rich finds. Did I get that right?
Naturally, yes.
And during this period, you were in and about various parts of the State Department, weren't you, the offices?
Well, naturally, I went to offices of colleagues.
And on some of these occasions, when you made personal calls to the offices, if you found a rich find in there, would it be fair to assume that you availed yourself of it?
No, it would not be fair to assume that. And I never did anything so foolish.
You would not have had the slightest conscientious scruple, I take it, Mr. Wadley, to pilfering documents from desks, would you?
I object to that.
I will allow it.
Well, I never did do so. And the question never arose in my mind.
Come on, Julian, don't be so naive. Can't you see what they're trying to do?
Who? What?
The defense. They're going to try to make the jury believe that Chambers got everything from you.
They can't do that over there.
Why not?
Because Chambers is supposed to have received those documents during the months of February and March. On March 9th, 1938, I left for Turkey on official State Department business.
Turkey? Well, okay. Not even J. Edgar Hoover could find fault with an alibi like that.
But even if I had been in Washington, it wouldn't have been possible for me to have gotten hold of all those documents. I knew Chambers must have had another contact in the State Department, someone senior to me, but I never dreamed it might be Alger. He was always so conspicuously respectable.
Do you think he was some kind of master spy?
Oh, no. If he was involved at all, it would have been in a piddling sort of way, like me. I never gave the Russians anything of any real importance.
Then what was the point?
I suppose they were laying foundations for the future. You know, they wanted to get me used to passing on documents, just in case I ended up in an influential position.
I'm worried about this morning. Just hope the Catlets don't lose their nerve on the witness stand.
I trust the Catlets. They want to help. They know it's important to fix the date when they got that typewriter. They won't let us down.
We're asking them to remember something that happened more than 10 years ago. It's not so easy.
Alger and Pross gave them the typewriter when they moved. That's not so difficult to remember. Moving is a big event. And it's lucky for us they moved 3 months before those documents were retyped. It's a lucky break, Harold. Stop worrying.
I'm one of the world's great warriors. Here there.
Mrs. Catlett, are you usually called Clyde?
That is right.
No, Clyde. Did the FBI people ask you to come down to their offices in Washington one day this spring?
They certainly did.
Did they have a man there to show you?
That is right.
What did they tell you the man's name was?
Mr. Chambers.
Did they ask you whether you'd ever seen that man before?
Yes, they did.
Had you ever seen the man before?
Once I did.
Where had you seen him?
2905 P Street.
Did he say what his name was?
He called his name Crosby.
Do you know Mr. Alger Hiss?
Yes, I do.
Do you know Mrs. Hiss?
I certainly do.
Did you used to work for Mrs. Hiss?
Yes, I did.
At one time or another, did the Hisses give you and your family some things?
Yes, they did.
What did they give you?
They gave me a chair, Victrola, one of them old kind of Victrolas, and some clothes.
Do you remember anything else?
Some pictures and then little things.
Anything else?
They gave the children an old typewriter.
By the children, you mean Pat and Mike.
That is right.
Thank you.
Now, may I call you Mike?
Sir,
Can I call you Mike?
my name is Raymond Sylvester Catlett.
All right, Raymond Sylvester Catlett. Am I right in saying that this typewriter was given to you by the Hisses?
Yes, sir.
At a time when they moved from one place
Yes, sir.
to another?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know where they were moving from?
No, sir.
Or where they were moving to at the time you got the typewriter?
No, sir. I couldn't hardly say.
You don't remember, is that it?
No, sir.
What condition was the typewriter in when they gave it to you?
Well,
It was in pretty bad condition, and I carried it to K Street and Connecticut Avenue in Washington to have it repaired.
Now, Mr. Catlett, supposing I tell you that the Woodstock repair shop at Connecticut and K did not come into existence until September of 1938, would that cause you to fix the time after September when you took it there?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know? In other words, you are not in a position now to remember. Is that right? Is that what you mean by you do not know?
What do you mean? I took it to that shop and it was not open?
That is correct.
It was not in business?
It was not in business until September 1938.
I don't know what time of year it was.
But your recollection is that you took the typewriter there soon after you got it from the Hisses.
That is right.
Because it did not work.
That is right.
Is that right?
That is right, sir.
Tom Murphy did a great job, a great job. The Hiss people thought they were going to prove that the typewriter had been given away before the dates on those State Department documents. The Catletts really screwed it up. Mm-hmm. Well, come on, look happy. This is good news.
For a man like you, maybe, or a lawyer. What about the jurors? Aren't they going to be judging us on more human terms? Alger and his friends. God, they're so glittering. Puts me in mind of the Battle of Agincourt. The shining splendor of the French cavalry all lined up in a row against the tattered English bowmen.
I thought the English won.
History doesn't often repeat itself.
Well, at least your wife will be pleased that there's some good news.
I never discussed the case with Esther. Never.
Mr. Hiss, are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party?
I am not, and I never have been.
Or a fellow traveler or sympathizer?
No, Mr. Stryker, I never have.
Did you, in your lifetime, ever furnish, transmit, or deliver to Whittaker Chambers or any other authorized person any restricted, secret, or classified documents of the State Department of any kind, character, or description whatever?
I think you meant unauthorized.
I did.
As amended, the answer is I did not.
All of the records are kept in here, and there's a heck of a lot of them. What exactly are you looking for?
Gus Clausen said it'd be all right if I took a look through some of the old membership files.
Right.
Be okay?
Oh, sure. If Gus says it's okay, we'll find. And if there's anything that I can do...
I'll give you a shot.
Right.
Do you use a typewriter, Mr. Witness?
I do not.
Did you ever type at all?
I think when I was in college, I may have banged out 1 or 2 pages. I don't clearly recall that. But I don't think I have typed a half page since that time.
And does Mrs. Hiss type?
She types some, yes.
Would you describe her as a proficient typist?
No, I would not.
Would you describe her as an amateur typist?
Yes, but a careful one. And one who, when she did type, was very neat.
Mrs. Hiss, when you lived in New York, do you remember what the address was?
Yes. Do you mean after I was married to Alger Hiss?
Yes.
Yes. We lived at 180 Claremont Avenue when we came down from Cambridge. And then we moved to Central Park West above 96th Street.
And during that time in 1932, were you a member of the Socialist Party?
No, I do not think so.
You were not.
I don't think so.
Did you register with the Board of Elections as a member of the Socialist Party?
No, I don't think so. I did vote for Norman Thomas.
Mrs. Hiss, don't you know that the records of the Socialist Party Morningside branch list you as a member?
I certainly do not know that.
Is it your practice to write formal things with the typewriter?
Yes. But I do not have occasion to write very many things like that.
Specifically, did you have occasion to write the exhibits in evidence?
Which exhibits?
Government's Exhibits 5 to 47, the typewritten copies of State Department documents.
Certainly not.
You did not type those?
I have already said that I did not type them, Mr. Murphy. I repeat that I did not type them.
But you would rather I would not ask you any more about that.
No, you may ask me whatever you like.
I think perhaps at this point we will take a 5-minute recess.
All right.
She walked right into that.
I wish she wasn't so nervous. Makes it look as if she's hiding something.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I said to you in the opening that I would take Alger Hiss by the hand and I would walk with him from his cradle until this hour. Well, I have done it. Everywhere he has been and everywhere he has gone and everything he has done and every trail that he has left behind are pure, wholesome, sound, strong, clean, decent, fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been called florid-faced. They tell me that I have gray hair. Alas, I'm afraid that it's the truth. It seems only a moment since people were commenting on my extreme youth. I never seem to have been in the right spot. But with all my faults, if I have done anything that you don't like, if I have offended any one of you in any way, hold it against me, not against Alger Hiss. Ladies and gentlemen, the case will be in your hands. I beg you, I pray you, to search your consciences. And I have no fear, yea, though I have walked through the valley of the shadow of death in this case. Alger Hiss, this long nightmare is drawing to a close. Rest well. Your case, your life, your liberty are in good hands.
Harold, did I tell you what happened last Sunday?
What was that?
Well, I was working in the Wall Street office. You know, I was going through the transcript. The idea was that I should dig out anything useful and take it along to Mr. Stryker's house in Long Island. Alger and Priscilla showed up, and they asked if they could be of any help. Well, we spent the whole morning making notes, and then about 1 o'clock they said goodbye. And then I put some papers into my briefcase, and I shut the office, and I followed them out into the hall. Well, they were just standing there. They were waiting for the elevator.
Alger, what if they convict you?
Well, I'm innocent. Someday they'll find that out, and it will be on their consciences for the rest of their lives.
Whatever the jury says, I believe him. I think he's an honest man.
I have a note from the jury which reads as follows. The jury finds it impossible to reach a verdict. Do you think any useful purpose will be served if you go back to your hotel and try again tomorrow?
I think I reflect the opinion of the jury, Your Honor, when I say no.
Well, that leaves me no alternative but to discharge the jury.
downtown. I believe you can scout around and find.
What's going to happen? Will there be another trial?
Oh, almost certainly.
Going to defend them again?
I'll defend that fellow forever, if he asks me to.
When do you think the next trial will take place?
Well, that'll be up to the judge. I can't give you the information on that.
Ask for change of venue?
That's something I can't go into at the present time.
Excuse me. Can you spare a minute?
Sure.
I'd like to talk to Mr. Murphy. Is that possible?
What's the problem?
Well, I was on the jury, and there are one or two things that Mr. Murphy ought to know.
Sure. Leave it to me.
Good. Thank you.
The political climate's getting worse. You don't need me to tell you that. Russia's got the atom bomb and people are scared. This is not good news for Alger. It means that public opinion will be going against us just when we need it most. It'll be like swimming up Niagara.
The new trial is set for November, is that right?
That's right. As far as I can see, it won't be very different from the last. The same witnesses will be parading before the court, giving much the same evidence. That's why we need your help more than ever.
Suppose the judge disallows psychiatric evidence. He did it in the first trial.
Well, it'll be a different judge. We'll just have to hope for the best. What we have to do with your help is to present the jury with a clear and detailed picture of Chambers' disturbed and possibly psychopathic personality. That'll show the jury how and why he's attempting to frame Alger. In other words, you'll have to provide what up to now has been so significantly missing: reason and motive.
Well, I'll be happy to do whatever I can. You know that.
Thank you, Carl.
Does Stryker agree with this approach?
Well, in the strictest confidence, Carl, I have to tell you that Alger's planning to replace Mr. Stryker.
Replace him? Why?
Well, in the first trial, we treated the documents too lightly. We don't intend to make that mistake again. And that means we need someone who can cope with a great mass of detailed evidence. Mr. Stryker's never been very good at that. It's not his forte. Besides, Alger really hates all those courtroom melodramatics.
Okay, Alger. You want a new lawyer. And I agree that a new broom sometimes sweeps clean. But if you ever want to come back to me, you can do so at any time.
Mr. Murphy has spoken to some of the jurors on his trial.
Yes, sir.
With what result, do you know?
Well, principally, sir, the jurors felt that if the prosecution had established who had retyped those stolen documents, they would have had no problem in arriving at a verdict.
We're talking about Mrs. Hiss, is that right?
That's right, sir.
We're saying Murphy should have convinced that jury that Mrs. Hiss retyped those stolen documents.
Well, yes, sir, but as you know, that's the one thing we can't prove.
A suggestion can be made. There's no reason why Murphy shouldn't do that. Jurors listen to suggestions as avidly as they listen to proof. It would be foolish to make the same mistake twice.
Yes, sir.
If he loses this case, Mr. Murphy's career will be over.
There's something you should know, Mr. Hoover. Mr. Chambers was telling us about a maid that he and his wife employed during the time they knew the Hisses in Baltimore. A colored woman. Her name is Edith. That's all he could remember.
She's got to be found.
Yes, sir.
And fast.
Yes, sir.
Ralph, this is my mother.
Hello, Ralph. The lunch is ready. Are you hungry?
And how? Is Alger home?
He's out, walking with Harold.
Alger, listen, please, you can't just dismiss it like that.
I'm not dismissing anything.
All right, let me just explain it.
Explanations don't help.
Alger, please, it's important. Now, Chambers is saying that he and his wife had a close, almost intimate relationship with you and Prosy.
Now, so far, they've been unable to produce anything, not a shred of evidence to support this claim. But we have to be prepared for them to try to do just that. And the only person we can use to deny such a claim is Timmy.
I'm sorry, Harold, it's out of the question.
Let me finish, Alger. Just let me finish. Timmy can say with total conviction, yes, I was living at home at the time, and there were no regular visits from either Chambers or his wife. Alger, he's the only person who can say that. And that's why it's so important he should be allowed to testify.
If we put Timmy on the witness stand, there is a very real danger the prosecution will try to discredit him by bringing up the question of his homosexuality.
Yes, maybe. We'll just have to take that chance.
It could ruin his life, Harold. Think what it would do to Prossie. She's more concerned about protecting Timmy than anything else.
I know.
Well, suppose he was your son.
Yes, I know.
Boys his age often go through some sort of sexual crisis. We both think he'll grow out of it. The FBI have been to see him. We don't want the press snooping around and making all this public. I would do anything to shield Timmy from that. I'd rather go to jail.
Alger, you're being self-indulgent. There's more at stake here than you going to jail. If we lose this case, there'll be a witch hunt of new dealers. Do you want to see this country run by political extremists? Because that's exactly what'll happen, and you know it.
Just tell him that I want to help. Tell him I'll do anything.
I'm sure he realizes that.
Well, I hope so. I worry about him, Pross. I don't think he understands how devious some people can be. He's got no sense of evil.
It's nothing to be afraid of, Edith. We just want to help you remember the way things were.
We had a lot of trouble finding you. So now you're here, we want to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You were telling us about the woman from Washington who came down to see Mr. and Mrs. Chambers when they were living in Baltimore. And about the tall, slender man who came with her. Maybe your husband?
Maybe, sir. I never knew for sure.
Is this the woman? Is this Priscilla Hiss?
Might be. I can't recall that name, though.
Is this the man?
Might be. It's something like him.
Alger Hiss returns to Federal Courthouse in Foley Square, where again he'll be facing charges of perjury arising from his testimony before the Un-American Activities Committee. Whitaker Chambers, formerly a senior editor of Time magazine, has accused Hiss of once being an active member of the Communist Party, a charge that Hiss vigorously denies. And once again, Big Tom Murphy is leading the prosecution. And defense counsel is Claude B. Cross from Boston. Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain. The eyes of America will be on Foley Square for just as long as this trial lasts. Today's other...
Well, Foster, what do you make of it all?
...is water.
Shall I give you my considered of Alger Hiss and his tribulation?
I think we're all rather bored with that subject.
Are you? Well, I'm not. Far from it. You know what this reminds me of? Br'er Rabbit and the Tar Baby. No matter what he tries to do, he just makes matters worse. I mean, he could have ignored Chambers' accusations, and he could have ignored it when Chambers went on that radio show. Nobody forced him to sue for libel. He didn't have to appear before that grand jury, but he did. He could have taken the fifth, but he didn't. And then he produces the typewriter that is going to convict him. And if that isn't enough, he fires Lloyd Paul Stryker, the only goddamn lawyer in this town who can get him off. Oh, Claude Cross is okay. He's a fine man, but he's no good with a jury, and Hiss must know that. Poor old Br'er Alger.
Well, if you only had a bunch of friends who could pull him out of this mess, but no such luck. I wonder how many will follow your example and testify against him.
I did not testify against him.
Oh, you were a prosecution witness, Foster.
I was merely correcting the impression that he's always had my support.
And maybe you just found out which way the tide was running, huh?
This way, Mrs. Murray.
No comments this morning, Mr. Meade. Please, gentlemen.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, what are all the names under which you have gone? Or which you have used at any time up until the end of 1937?
J. Vivian Chambers, Whitaker Chambers, John Kelly, Arthur Dwyer, Lloyd Cantwell, and David Breen. I think that's all.
And how long a period did you use the name Lloyd Cantwell?
For something like 2 years. First time I used that name, I lived at 903 St. Paul Street in Baltimore. Second time I used that name, I was living on Utah Place in Baltimore.
How long did you stay at Utah Place?
We stayed there about a year.
Did you see either Mr. or Mrs. Hiss at that address?
Yes. I saw quite a good deal of Mrs. Hiss at that time. I saw Mr. Hiss, of course, too.
What did either Mr. or Mrs. Hiss call your husband?
Carl.
Just Carl.
Just Carl.
What name were you living under in Utah Place?
Cantwell.
Dr. Binger, are you a doctor of medicine?
Yes, sir.
Specializing in psychiatry?
That's right.
Or have you an opinion, Dr. Binger, as a psychiatrist, within the bounds of responsible certainty, as to the mental condition of Whitaker Chambers?
Yes, I have.
And what is your opinion, Dr. Binger, of the mental condition of Mr. Chambers?
I think Mr. Chambers is suffering from a condition known as psychopathic personality, which is a disorder of character, the outstanding features of which are behavior of what we call an amoral or an asocial and delinquent nature.
And what did you observe about Mr. Chambers when you saw him in court at the first trial and here?
Well, may I say I would not attempt to make a diagnosis of psychopathic personality purely on the observation of a person. But there were certain confirmatory things that I did see.
Will you tell us what they were?
Well, he sat in this chair, or in a similar one, and he apparently had very little relationship with the inquirer. He frequently looked up at the ceiling as if trying to recall something that he had previously said. He seemed to have an extraordinary lack of precision about events. He had an extraordinarily vague memory for dates. Another thing which impressed me about the witness was that although he was frequently put in a position in which he admitted having lied, having forsworn himself, having taken false oaths, that he made those admissions without apparently, well, without any contrition, remorse, or shame.
Dr. Binger, how long have you known Mr. and Mrs. Hiss?
Since 1947. My wife was a fellow Bryn Mawr graduate with Mrs. Hiss.
You have stated that you are accepting no fee for your services. Is that true?
I have refused to accept any money.
Were you ever refused admission as a member of the American Psychiatric Association for reasons of insufficiency of training in psychiatry?
I think the facts are these. I applied for admission to the American Psychiatric Association.
Could you, Doctor, try to answer the question just yes or no?
I don't know the exact answer. I know that my membership was deferred for a year. Whether I was actually refused, I don't know.
What full-time training in an institution devoted to the study of anatomy or pathology of the brain have you had?
None.
Now, Doctor, when you started to describe the different symptoms of a person with a psychopathic personality, you said chronic Persistent and repetitive lying, stealing, deception, alcoholism and drug addiction, abnormal sexuality, vagabondage, panhandling. Now, Doctor, for our purposes, we can eliminate immediately 3 of those, can't we? Drug addiction, alcoholism, and sexual abnormality.
Yes, that's right.
You observed that Mr. Chambers had a rather vague memory of dates. Is that a symptom of anything at all, Doctor?
Everything is a symptom of something, but that...
Isn't it a symptom of being normal?
It could be, yes.
Another observation that you made was that during the time that Mr. Chambers was on the stand, he appeared to have no remorse. Now, Doctor, can you tell when a witness is experiencing the emotion, let us say, remorse, sitting 25 feet away?
I cannot.
Doctor, when you testified earlier on direct examination, you observed that Mr. Chambers frequently looked up at the ceiling as if trying to recall something that he had previously said. Now, Doctor, we made a count this morning of the number of times that you looked up at the ceiling, and during the first 10 minutes, you looked at the ceiling 19 times. The next 15 minutes, 20 times, and the next 15 minutes, 10 times, and the following 10 minutes, 10 times, making a total in 50 minutes of 59 times. And I was wondering, Doctor, whether that had any symptoms of a psychopathic personality. The science of psychiatry is not quite an exact science, is it, Doctor?
Don't blame yourself, Harold. It wasn't your fault.
How long did you work for the Cantwells, Mrs. Murray?
Well, I worked for them in 1935 in the fall when they lived at St. Paul Street, and in the spring of 1936 after they moved to Utah Place.
In Baltimore?
Yes, sir.
Did the Cantwells have many visitors?
They didn't have any visitors. Only 2 visitors that I know of.
Did these visitors say where they came from and where they lived?
The lady did. She said she lived in Washington.
Do you see her here in court?
Yes, sir.
Would you get off the chair and point out the lady to us?
There's the lady, right there with the black hat with the thing on the side.
Is it conceded that she pointed to Mrs. Hiss?
I think so, yes.
All right, you may sit down. What did you call this lady?
Miss Priscilla.
Miss Priscilla?
Yes, sir.
And when did you see the Cantwells last? How recently have you seen them?
Well, I saw them around, it was in November.
And how did you get to see them?
Well, the FBI had been looking for me, so they came to the house to take me out there to their farm to see if they were the same people I had been working for.
And were they the same people you'd worked for?
Yes.
Did they tell you what their name was?
Yes. I was surprised when they told me.
What did they tell you their name was?
Chambers.
You were taken by the FBI to the Chambers farm, were you?
Yes, sir.
And were you shown pictures of Mr. and Mrs. Chambers before you got down there?
Yes, sir.
Then when next did you see anyone?
Well, I think the FBI man came back again and asked me could I come to New York to see if I could identify the Hisses.
Did he use the name, Hisses?
No. Identify a lady and a man. They showed me a picture.
Who showed you that?
The FBI man.
Well, tell us just what he said to you.
He asked me, could I recognize this woman? So I looked at the picture and I said, it looks like somebody I know. And I thought in my own mind, maybe I'd seen it in the movies because I didn't know what it was all about. I thought maybe...
You thought it was someone you had seen in the movies?
I thought maybe it was.
You did not know anything about the case?
I didn't know anything about it.
Never heard the name Hiss or anything else?
No, sir.
Knew nothing about the trial?
Never heard anything.
Did you ever read the papers?
No, sir.
I beg your pardon.
No, sir. I never bothered about reading the papers because I was sick in 1942 and I had a nervous condition, and the doctor told me not to read anything that would upset me. So I never bothered about the papers at all. That is why I didn't know anything about it.
How unfair it would be to decide things on emotion, particularly the facts in a criminal trial. Now just think. You cannot say that one is handsome and tall and the other is pudgy. One went to Harvard, one to Columbia. Mrs. Hiss went to a party with Mrs. Dean Acheson. Mrs. Chambers' mother and father came from Russia. You cannot do it by emotion. You have to apply reason. You have to analyze the cold facts. The defendant has called 19 character witnesses, more than 1/3 the number of his total witnesses, and they have testified to his reputation for integrity, loyalty, honesty, and veracity. I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of reputation does a good spy have? Of course it must be good. The fox barks not when he goes to steal the lamb. It has to be good. But we are here in a search for truth. We're not concerned with reputations. Reputations, poppycock. Take Mr. Watley. Is that a good analogy or not? Hiss went to Harvard. Well, Watley went to London University in Kiel. Call it about even. He ends up in the State Department, too. Now, if Watley can do it, Hiss can do it. There's no particular charm about it. The analogy is there. Now, you may recall that when Mr. Hiss testified before Congress, he said the name Whittaker Chambers means nothing to me. Just how was that mind working when he said that? Did he mean that he didn't know the name? Did he mean that he didn't know the man that the name was attached to? Did he mean that he had no present recollection of the name? So he then says that he would like to see him. He'd like to see this guy who says he was a member of the communist apparatus together with 8 or 9 other fellas. So what happened? A few days later, in this city, up at the Commodore Hotel, that request was satisfied. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a little story. The giraffe and the hippopotamus met each other one day, and the giraffe says to the hippopotamus, "I don't remember you at all." The hippopotamus says, "But you must. We were in the jungle together, the two of us. We were friends." He says, "No, I don't remember you." But he says, "You must. We lived together. We ate together." "No." So the giraffe says, "Let me see your teeth." So he looks, and he says, "Oh, George Crosley, I know you." George Crosley, my aunt. Now the motive. We haven't had the motive yet. This is the second trial. The motive is missing. Why should Mr. Chambers leave a $30,000 job and accuse Mr. Hiss unjustly? Why? The most that Mr. Cross has suggested is that the motive was naughty. It was bad, a bad motive. But what was the motive? What propels him to make all of these charges? Ladies and gentlemen, there just ain't no motive. That is the trouble. There is no motive at all. The charge is substantiated. That is the only motive, and that is the truth. Now, in connection with the documents, I'm going to give you 2 little thoughts to take with you into the jury room. We do know that the Baltimore documents ended up in the Hiss typewriter. That we know. And in going over these documents, I noticed some typing errors. And you will see the same errors in the Hiss standards, the letters typed by Mrs. Hiss. So, consider again those proofs. Take them with you into the jury room, those photographs. Take the machine, the instruments. What do they prove? Ladies and gentlemen, it proves treason. And that is the traitor.
Madam Foreman, have you and the members of the jury agreed on a verdict?
Yes, we have.
How say you?
We find the defendant guilty on the first count and guilty on the second.
The defendant will stand up.
May he make a statement, if Your Honor, please?
I beg your pardon.
May he, under the rule, make a very brief statement?
Yes, certainly. You may come up closer if you wish.
I would like to thank Your Honor for the opportunity again to deny the charges that have been made against me. I want only to add that I am confident that in the future, the full facts of how Whittaker Chambers was able to carry out forgery by typewriter will be disclosed. Thank you, sir.
The defendant is sentenced to 5 years on each count. Sentences are to run concurrently.
January 25th, 1950. 15 days later, on February 9th, Senator Joseph R. McCarthy of Wisconsin delivered a speech that marked the beginning of a new era in American politics.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have here in my hand a list of 205 names known to the Secretary of State as being members of the Communist Party and who nevertheless are still working and changing the policy of the State Department. They're the bright young men who are born with silver spoons in their mouths, are the ones who have been most traitorous.
He's a heavy-handed slugger whose intelligence is not equal to his energy. McCarthy will never understand. Nobody really understands what the Hiss case was all about.
Whittaker Chambers died in 1961. 23 years later, in February 1984, he was awarded the Medal of Freedom by President Ronald Reagan. Esther Chambers still lives in seclusion at Pike Creek Farm. Richard Nixon became Vice President of the United States in 1953 and President in 1969. He remained in office until August 9th, 1974, when he resigned, the first president ever to do so. Alger Hiss served 44 months in the Lewisburg Penitentiary. His stepson, Timothy, is now married with a family of his own. Alger and Priscilla Hiss separated in 1959. Although they have never been divorced, they have lived apart ever since. Since his release, Alger Hiss has worked ceaselessly to clear his name.
Frontline is off to the races with a look at the other side of the track. An insider's look at the sport of kings next. Be sure to join us Tuesday night at 9 when American Playhouse begins a 7-part miniseries on the life and times of physicist Robert Oppenheimer. It begins Tuesday at 9. Stay tuned for a preview.